You don't have to pay me for my child because my goal is not to take your child from you and make you pay me. My goal is for you to have a relationship with your child. I don't want to take the relationship of my child away from the father. If you want to have a relationship with your child, I'm more than happy for that to happen. So if I'm taking half custody and you taking joint custody, then that's perfectly fine. I don't need anything from you.
Reality is that I can't have a baby with expectations of being spoiled by having some other help.
I want to be successful and I want my family to have my back so that I can be as
But they
successful and
have
you
your
don't have to be
back
in a
though.
nursing home. There are some people that actually like I love getting up and grinding so that I can provide for my family. Rico,
20,
me and
30. I
you are
said
family,
70,
so
30.
whatever you feel about
I
what's
said
going
seven.
on, you
I
don't
said
feel that way with me, so you better
I
get
said
your shit
70,
together.
30. I said 70-30 on the
Okay.
last panel. 30% men, 70%
Okay.
women.
All right, fine. We'll go
Slightly
with it.
slightly more with women. That's how I feel.
Okay, fine. You can have it.
Yeah. So if my girl and I don't work out and somebody says she should have picked better, well, technically they could be right.
Oh.
You know, but
So in this situation, if God forbid the situation you're in didn't work out, would you be upset to have to pay child support, or are you one of the people that be like, I would have custody of my child, or
I think there's there's two different types of men, and or maybe even three. There's the men that try to take custody of their child, but they realize it's an uphill battle, that maybe they don't have the finances or the time or the resources to do so, and maybe even attempt it and then at some point quit because of that. I do think that the other one is the relentless man, which is going to make sure that they do all that they can to at least have joint custody, if not sole custody. And then there's the other one, which is going to say, I don't give a fuck, right? Or whatever their reason may be. So I am definitely the relentless one.
Okay.
And you're not going to walk out with my child thinking that I'm not going to have at least joint custody.
Gotcha.
And I think a lot of men don't even put themselves in a position where they can even win that battle.
Okay.
So that's why they end up on child support, because to my knowledge, there's no child support if you split custody.
I agree 100% with that part.
So I wouldn't
If
have
you
to pay
split
for
and
my
cut,
I wouldn't have to pay for
That's
my
not
kids.
true.
If you split in custody with somebody, you don't have to pay my rent. That's all I'm saying. Like, you don't have to pay me for my child because my goal is not to take your child from you and make you pay me. My goal is for you to have a relationship with your child. I don't want to take the relationship of my child away from the father. If you want to have a relationship with your child, I'm more than happy for that to happen. So if I'm taking half custody and you taking joint custody, then that's perfectly fine. I don't need anything from you. But if you think that you're just gonna drop a baby on me and we had plans to be together forever and it just didn't work out because you did what you did or whatever the situation is that we broke up, there's no way that you're gonna leave me with a child that's stagnating my goals in my life, but you're free to go on without any responsibilities. And then now, like, I have all of the financial burden. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I feel like if it's fair,
Yeah, but there's some women that don't care about that, So not
care
everyone
about
is
what?
like having their child, prioritizing their child's relationship with the other parent.
I agree with that too, because I did just say like you can't just go about your life, but the larger part of me is like, I don't care what you do, just leave me alone. Like, I'll take the burden of my child because I did.
Content idea for those in the chat. I would love for you to dig up some details and data about the women who resent their child because it looks like the father. I think that'd be great because there's a lot of children that bear trauma because of I guess, trauma the mother had with the father or whatever the situation was, and they treat their child like shit.
That's crazy.
We don't talk about that enough. And that's also a boy who most likely became a man at some point in time today. And you're dealing with them as we speak. So you should do some research on that.
You know what? Just to segue. I saw something. I think I sent it to the chat. I saw something with Chad Johnson, and I think he was maybe on a live or something, and he was talking, because I don't think he was talking to his ex-fiance. And he was saying, mind you, they were never married. They have a child together, and I think he said he's demanding 85% of her business, I believe. And she's a broker, and she's been doing
In
it for a
Miami.
long time. Yeah.
Yes.
Before they were even together. He said 85% of that. He said all the kids. I don't know if he meant like all his kids with other women, or just their kid together. Not sure, but he said, "Give me the kids." Or like 85%.
I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
they might.
And she's the breadwinner.
Well,
Do
let's
they have 2 kids together?
no, it's one. Well, go ahead
Got
and play it.
three choices.
Walk away with.
Oh,
You
it's-
give me a percentage of your business, give me a lump sum of money, or you give me all the kids. Stop playing with my top, man. Oh, I'm getting a little carried away. I ain't getting carried away. This ain't a math problem. Only thing you carrying is math. You carry the one. I ain't getting carried away here. And since you're on my live, I just want you to look at the material. You see this? See all this? Huh. Yeah, 1-on-1. Ego choke, not a little. I can't get 85. Whatever I ask for, I should be willing and able to get it. If I'm walking away with something. Yeah, you can LOL, ha ha ha, key, all you want. My lawyer's ready.
My lawyer's ready.
Lawyer's ready, boo boo. Trust me, if you were to ask your kids, ask our kids who they rather be with, who they rather live with.
Kid.
Is
You know
she
where they
in
coming.
the? Is she
You
in
know
the
where the kids
chat?
going because
Oh,
I don't have that many rules. I allow the kids to be kids.
Oh, okay. That's what I couldn't tell.
I allow the kids to be kids.
So I didn't know that she was on the other side of the live or whatever.
No,
she was
she's in the. He's in the.
He was
She's in
in
the
the
comments.
comments. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A viewer, a live viewer.
As someone who watched the show, I don't know. I don't know how to feel, and I don't really want to start nothing. But to me, that's so like a man behaving that way to me is like unattractive. But whatever, women do that, so I'm not gonna fully judge the situation like that. But I just think that's some super feminine behavior. I'm not gonna lie. To me,
I'm just.
I don't think it was that long, but like
why would he want 85% of her business?
I have no
We
idea.
don't know the details. We just know what's.
She helped him with his podcast. She's a multimillionaire because she's a broker in Miami. She's built her whole business and put on buttloads of Black women. Even on the show, she's the breadwinner of the relationship. He even admits that, and so it seems like he's just like an upset man that's like, nah, like I want some of what you got, and it sucks.
Can you
Like,
speak to what he did as well, though.
can you what?
Can you speak to what he did as well?
Could I say what he was saying?
No, what did he
What
do?
did he bring? Because you champion her, but
No, I didn't. I mean, maybe just his name and his popularity, because she had everything already. So it's I think they were just in love. Like, I don't know.
I think what are you talking? Are you saying like
I
monetarily?
mean, love is
I'm just saying,
is
period,
part of it.
because
Oh, okay.
If she was handling all that, I'm sure he was contributing something to the relationship that made her stay. when they
I
were
bet if
happy.
you look her up now, she's
Oh.
not. Her life is not going to change at all. That I was under
monetarily.
I was under the assumption that they really did love each other, and she brought in her pastor, like they were doing therapy and everything. So it's like,
For what?
what
Is
happened?
that the new Netflix show or is that the real estate show?
I think
well,
it's
I saw it on but you know what?
Wags
I
or
think
something.
The show
she's
was
on 2
also on
shows.
Netflix. Oh, it's 2 shows.
She has 2 shows.
I think it was Wags or something. I'm not really sure. It was like
The selling, the real
Where's
estate
Wags?
show is where
women
I
and
saw her.
girlfriends
Right.
of
Recently, she's been on another Netflix show where like wives of
yes.
Oh, okay.
wives of something. She was on
What-
that.
what is it? I
girlfriend.
don't know. I don't know.
I don't know,
I
but
don't remember what it was.
What's her
called.
claim to fame?
her name is. But it's not a claim to fame. It's just being a.
No.
Are you
a
asking like
person-
how she made her
You
living?
get put. You
She's
she
a broker, a real
No,
estate
no, 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 not her living. Her. So did she get popular from dating Chad Johnson? Did she
No.
gain her popularity?
No.
from
She
that?
already
didn't.
had a name, a profile, all of that before Chad Johnson.
Okay.
Same reason he offering all his kids to her as an option.
But
when only one of them is her kid.
No, he said our at one point.
He said our kids. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
can
Like
I just research?
But do
real
they
quick
not, do
how
they
much
have like
they
separate
have?
kids?
they have
He
their,
has. He
I
has a
don't know
lot of
that
kids.
part. He has a lot of kids by multiple people.
and I think
With-
she
no,
has
with
a
her.
son. No, they have one kid together, and I think she has a son.
Oh, so two.
But
Two
it's-
total. She has two.
And watching the show,
What's her
he
name
didn't
again?
want to give her anything from his podcast if they broke up, and she didn't want to give him anything from her business because she's like, I started my business before we were together.
Terrell.
So they were like having a feud, and I don't know what happened because I thought they were in
Were
love.
they married?
No, they never got to get
Engaged. They were-
married. They
yeah,
were
they were
engaged.
engaged.
Before the pastor didn't marry them. That's not what you were saying.
This shit might be
No, no, no,
publicity
they were
stunt.
talking about- they were talking
Okay,
about-
yeah, it's only one kid.
Yeah, they were doing good.
For
when
some
they were
reason, I thought
engaged.
she was pregnant again.
I don't know. I think that his position is very odd.
But I feel like
Talking about
comical.
boo boo with
But
his
I feel,
cup.
but this is him though. Like we
Mhm.
saw him do this with well, I don't know if y'all watch
Evelyn
reality.
Lozada.
Yeah, we saw him do this with Evelyn Lozada. And honestly, he does a lot of like street media podcasts being the same way. So this is actually not shocking. Like to see him go on live and like say things like this.
Okay.
Chad, why do you want 85%? I just want to know if you can give us an answer on what does the 85%, like, why do you feel, maybe I want to side with you, but I just don't have any details.
Say that.
Where I think at a minimum, we can just take what he's presenting as fact and take those facts at face value. So 85% or not, he's asking for something from a woman
who he's not
to
married
to whom he was never married.
Exactly.
So
Or
I
the
think
kids.
so I think if we or the kids or a lump sum. So I think if we just take that as fact, we can have a conversation about that.
All I'm saying.
Maybe he's saying that he would rather be the full custody parent, the sole custody parent, or
That's what you got out of that?
and because he gave her an ultimatum, and one of them is the kids. So
Just send them kids.
yeah, that's so. And I feel like maybe he's like he knows her business is very important to her. So he's like, all right, well, look, you can keep your business. I won't even touch your business, but give me the kids. But then again, I don't know what his argument is if it's keep the kids, but I take this part of the business. I have zero clue what that looks like.
The one thing I did notice was that my assumption is that they have a different parenting style, because he said the kids have more fun with me, or I allow
He
them
allows
to
them
be
to be
kids or
kids,
something.
yeah. And they would prefer to live with him.
That's what he said, right?
Yeah, if
Okay.
you ask them.
So I'm thinking that she would probably have an issue with their child being raised solely with him, or majority of the time with him.
Or even having a comparison.
What do you mean?
Like a lot of times if you have a child and one parent is the favorite parent,
Oh, it's always like that though.
yeah, but then, at that point in time, then that kid can decide who they live with. It's like an ego thing that you could take, you get hit like, damn, you rather live with your mom, or damn, you rather live with your dad.
It happens. There's always there's always a favorite parent, just like parents got their favorite kids.
I've tried, yeah.
No, parents have favorite kids. Like I can literally go down the line right now and name each of my grandparents' favorite kids, my aunt and uncles, who their favorite kid is. Everybody knows. Like, parents have their favorite kids. They don't want to admit it. I don't understand why. Life is hard. You have to have tough decisions and, deal with it at some point. But I think that all parents probably go through one being the asshole and the other one being the fun one,
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm both. I have a great balance. Like I do the yelling and I
Ask
do the
the kids.
playing.
Yeah, you gotta exit.
Oh no, the kid. What? We've already did.
okay.
Like,
I was like,
we already did.
You think you?
No, we already did.
But technically, the dad usually is. I feel like it's
Well,
not
it depends. I feel like yes, right?
Yeah.
And if when I look at it from the old traditional way where you had the guy who was typically working and the mom was a stay-at-home mom, so either one, the dad was either out of touch with the kids, or two, the dad let the kids do whatever they want because that was the only time quality time he was really spending with them.
Yeah.
I feel like my situation personally is different because I am at home most of the time, or I do have the ability to be home most of the time. So I spend a lot of, I think I spend a lot of time with the kids doing what they need to be done because I have that flexibility. So I pick the kids up from school. I drop them off at school. I'll walk and meet them at the school just to walk back with them. And I'll bring, like yesterday I brought Violet's scooter to school from her daycare and let her scoot all the way home, right? So I have that flexibility where I could do those things, and I'm willing to. Like my girl is from LA where they think that, if you're outside on foot, it's an embarrassment. like, you know what I'm saying? But I walk with the kids to the park because I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
like,
Me with my
She wasn't
cup, with
funny.
my
That's
sweats
fine.
looking
It
crusty.
was.
I'd be like, come
Like-
on, Prince.
yeah.
The funny thing is because in your mind you said you think it's like it's shameful, but for me
Yeah.
I'm like in my mind you finna melt. It's hot as hell.
Nah,
If you in Houston and you outside
Oh yeah, it's
walking.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like literally where I live, the park is down the street. The school is 2 blocks each way.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
You would sweat 3 gallons in Houston. Just walking
I
in
never
2 little blocks.
I need to go. I never been.
So you're the favorite parent
here.
for flexibility reasons.
But I'm
You
also
probably don't yell a
He
lot.
said he wants to.
No, I yell a
He
lot.
said he prefers that though.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do yell a lot because I'm also very militant.
Mhm.
But I believe there should be a reward and a punishment for everything.
Okay.
So, like, she don't believe like, all right, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you don't get rewarded. But my thing is doing what you're supposed to do is just your own personal standard. So technically it should be rewarded, right? So I reward and I punish equally. If you did your chores and you took out the garbage every day without me having to tell you, you get a reward.
Why?
I was about to say.
Because like you get a reward for doing what you're supposed
I
to
don't
do
have
on a
to tell
day to day. If you show up to work on time and you keep your job and you get paid.
That's
Right.
not a reward. That's
That
you're,
isn't
you're,
a reward.
you're exchanging time for money. I mean,
Yeah.
your time for their money.
Yeah, but they don't.
It's
they're
an
not old enough to
exchange.
have a job, so that would be a reward.
Yeah.
No,
for
I'm-
their
no, no.
salary.
No. I'm trying to understand. You saying that you reward and criticize whatever or
No, punish.
punish equally. But what I'm saying is that, but you also said that you reward for them doing what they're supposed to do, and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to understand like
Because like what you're supposed to do is subjective. It's your own standard of what you think they're supposed to do, right?
no, but like
Yeah,
chores.
but
Didn't-
imagine their reward is money, $1 every
Yeah,
time
yeah.
it's like today I really don't feel like cleaning them motherfucking dishes, so fuck that $1.
damn, that's how you was talking to me.
But then
No,
again,
no,
but look,
little baby Amanda walking
But look-
around cussing and shit. Damn.
but then you get the
That shit silver
punishment.
teeth.
This shit equal. You know what I'm
'Cause
saying?
then after that, you can't go outside to the park. So that could be the punishment.
That's not a real punishment. Like you gotta know how to punish kids,
You spank your kids?
of course. But I found a better way of punishing them. Right?
Kneeling on rice,
No,
Ouch.
Jesus.
it's worse.
standing in a corner with one leg.
Take their phones.
No, stand in the
My
corner.
son
Look,
lands on rice.
stand in the corner with your arms open.
What got going on
My
over
son
there?
rough as hell.
That's stand on the corner with your arms open. By that 7-minute mark, you start your shoulders start burning. Like, all right, you gonna learn?
What, leaving your arms up is punishment?
Go on the wall. Keep your hands up. Not even up. Out.
Yep, out.
Oh, we call that the Delta chair.
That's what it was. That's what it is. Delta
Never
chair.
seen anything like that outside of a Cambodian prison. So
I can't punish for
But
nothing.
the thing is,
I don't have the patience.
I realize I'm too big to be whooping ass. So I was like,
I don't have the patience for discipline.
Is it?
yeah,
It's
you
like,
can't
sit your
beat
ass.
kids
Oh, you
now.
don't want to sit? All right. Well, listen, get out of my face. Just leave me alone because I ain't got time to be
if your kid's a
disciplining
snitch,
somebody
no.
all the time.
I don't know, man. It took me one chance to say I was gonna tell on my mama.
My mom called for me.
What?
I thought my mom, she picked up the phone and called them.
No, I
Here you
said-
go.
No, I said I was gonna tell my daddy.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna tell my daddy on her.
I'm gonna tell my dad. When my
First of all, Erin looks so ashamed right now. She's like, that was
I ain't even
it.
gonna finish the story.
Like,
So, okay, you
I
have
had one
kids.
chance.
Rome, you have kids.
One.
Did you guys parents help with raising your children? Like, did your mom and dad, or did they help when it came to like watching your child so you could go to work or whatever? Like, do they keep your because back in the day, I was at my auntie house,
Oh,
all
yeah.
of them,
Mhm.
all the time at my auntie's house. Know them better than know my mama. So, but still, like you spend time with, your family more. And I feel like today that doesn't happen as much, or maybe it just depends on the
They
situation.
still working.
All right. So it says why millennials feel let down by their parents, grandparent style. Growing up, many of us saw our grandparents as a second set of parents, always there, always willing to help. But now that we have kids of our own, it feels like our parents, their grandparents, are setting new boundaries we never expected. They don't want to babysit. They don't want to be full-time caregivers. And some even feel like they've done their time raising kids. Meanwhile, we're juggling careers, rising costs, and lack of support. Are millennials entitled for expecting more hands-on grandparents, and are parents justified in setting limits on their grandparent duties? That happens. Like you could be tired of your child, and you didn't want them to have
I think-
grandkids, or that you didn't want them to have kids because you didn't like the person they were dealing with. So you probably feel some resentment towards your child, and now fuck them
That
kids.
didn't matter back in the
Kids.
day. And that's the problem. Everybody's always saying FTK. And it's not FTK. And the problem really is so I don't think that it's my mom is not. She shouldn't have to raise my children, but at the same time, it's like, sis, you got help when I was little, so I don't want to hear nothing about what I got going on. I don't want to hear nothing about how I'm parenting, what I got time to do, how successful I should be, because at the end of the day, I got my son all the time. So, and my mom is very helpful, but she's a nurse. Like she's an RN. Yes. She has her own house. She's, like she has her own bills and own stuff to worry about. So she works full time. So I don't even feel like putting that burden on her. If I really do need a sitter, I know I can call on my grandmother or my mom, but they still work. Like my grandmother is retired. No, my grandmother is retired, but because the economy is so messed up, sometimes she's like, you know what? I think I need to go get me a little something, and I'm just
Walmart greeter job.
Yeah, a little something, but it's a shame.
You're like, here,
it's terrible,
baby.
right? But I have never been able to say, oh, my son's going here for the summer.
Yeah, but I don't. And see, everybody parents
I've never
different.
been that kid though.
Yeah,
I
I
really
don't-
wish I could have.
Wait,
been.
what kid?
Those go away.
Parents be sending their kids off
Really?
to their
I was
grandparents for
gone.
the summer.
What?
I was
Yeah.
gone.
Say if their parents lived in Houston, like your family, like send your kids to Houston. They in Houston for the summer. I got the summer off.
I really appreciate the time that I have with my kids, and I don't want my mom or any of the grandparents to raise my children, right? So realistically, if my girl's parents live in Los Angeles, so it's a little bit different. So my mother lives down the street from me. My mom probably takes the kids, I would say, once every 2 to 3 weeks, right? And she'll take them for a day, Saturday into Sunday. And then she'll bring it back. But I'm okay with that because for me, it's like, if I am going to be the one to be the parent, I want to be the parent. I'm not looking for, now I do get it. Sometimes we need a break as a parent, but I don't need a whole weekend break. Like all I need is a day break. And I don't need that every weekend. I honestly don't even need it every other weekend. So I'll be cool with I'll be cool parenting my kids all the time. Like for me, it's not a burden. Now my girl, she'd be like, oh, I need a break. I'd be like,
That's what I was about
but
to
I
say.
do everything with the kids. So you already got a break on a day to
Can I say
day.
something
do
without
that.
being disrespectful? Like I don't want to be disrespectful.
I do this shit all the time. Like
That's what you think.
No, that's what we all know. This is like my house.
I feel as though men sometimes, like present dads,
I'm not present. I'm active.
you're
It's
an
big-
active dad.
It's different.
Sorry, my apologies. I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any kind of way, but it's kind of like
Demure.
I was about to say, stop apologizing to this fucking man.
I'm changing. You guys,
See how demure?
I go to church every weekend. I'm changing. Like I'm literally not the old Jada. Okay, I haven't cursed once.
You did say
Recognize.
FTP.
I said
mean,
exactly.
whatever.
Say, y'all got more
FTK.
tequila?
I don't.
Shot, please.
That was the only thing I did because it's my best friend's birthday weekend. So
Oh, happy birthday.
yes, Pisces
Happy
in
birthday,
the building.
friend.
Yes. So, anyways, I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way, but I feel as though men are able to they don't feel the need as much for a break because I feel like they get more breaks naturally. I feel like naturally, for example, my son is always going to come to me. My son is always going to call me. I'm not saying in your situation, so that's why I
them
said
niggas
don't.
call me, and it ain't one, it's two.
But so you guys both work, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying both kids call me.
Who's home majority of the time?
Me.
You are.
But we kind of
Well, that's
both
what
are
he just said.
equally.
He has the
You do be
flexibility
home.
to
Yeah.
do all
Got
of this
you.
stuff.
But and that's the difference. Like, I've set my life up to be home
Okay.
majority of the time, right? She works in the office twice a week. She's
Okay.
home 3 times a week, right? Hybrid. So, but my thing is scratch that, right? Because the kids are gone, let's just say from 8 a.m. till at least 3 p.m., 3:30.
hmm
Now, let's say from 5:30, which is when my daughter is in, and they're both simultaneously there. We are both there majority of the day, majority of the time. When we are there, she is doing whatever she wants to do. She might be in the room, she might be in the bathroom, she might be doing her hair, she might be doing fucking around playing, making fake food, all her little extracurricular hobbies that she
Fake
decides to
food.
do.
Why did you say it
Fake
like that? Like,
food.
Because
that's what she likes to do.
that's what she calls it. Like she like does the micro poly clays, like the little clay.
Who, the
Oh,
baby?
she makes that? relationship?
No, my girl.
Oh, that is cool.
girlfriend.
I love those little things.
She does she has these little innovative spurts where she's doing a slime business and she's learning how to make slime and she wants to,
Cool.
but she has the luxury to do that. And the kids, besides, unless my daughter says, "Can I play with the finished product?" right? Is not bothering her. They're not coming to her. They're coming to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that has to take them to the park. I'm the one that has to play with them in the house. I'm the one that has to bring them to school. I'm the one that has to pick them up from school.
I don't believe
She's
it.
talking about she's like, yo, my girl just said, literally, she said, Violet's about to be 4. We got to sign her up for ballet or gymnastics. And I almost had a meltdown. Like, because I was like, so you want to add something else to my schedule? Like, because who's going to be bringing her? And who's going to get her? And who's going to sit there? And who's going to have to learn this shit to make sure that she's doing it right? And who's going to make sure that she's doing it right even when she's not at practice so she can get better when she is there? You know what I'm saying? So all of these different things that I take on.
Respectfully, I have to hear her side. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it with men anymore.
this?
I hear you. I love you.
Forget our
I love
side.
you, Rico.
Ask the kids.
Wait, but did she say that she wouldn't be doing that though?
She doesn't do it. Like,
Okay, but how do you know that she didn't think about, oh, well, she should do something next year since she's going to be a year older. And yeah, I'll do this. I already know where I want her to go. So
because she never said it. She never did it. She never said it. She never did it. She never
okay, because when she brought up the topic, you attacked her about your schedule.
No, the thing is this. We already know. It's like, you know what? When you know your partner, you know your partner. Right? I know when she's a Gemini. Oh, she's here one minute and over there the next. She's just giving ideas, giving like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. But then
Get her Adderall, like me.
Get her
Something.
I'm trying to figure out who in the hell did you really raise? Some of y'all.
As a borderline Gen X millennial born in 1984, I'll add my 2 cents to this very thoughtful discussion that has already received a lot of very thought-provoking videos. Obviously, the original poster is very frustrated. Motherhood is fucking hard. A lot of core Gen Xers have already done a really good job of explaining all the things that Gen Xers went through as latchkey kids that were responsible for their siblings and who are now like taking care of their parents, and how a lot of them really haven't had a break since childhood. So I want to focus more on why millennials are feeling this and some solutions. So apart from the fact that Gen Xers might be a little bit more emotionally disengaged and a little more exhausted from having to do a lot of caretaking labor already, there's also the phenomenon of the nuclear family overtaking the extended family in recent years. Pretty much since the 50s, people have been increasingly on their own. As globalization has allowed people to travel more easily, people no longer live as closely to their extended family groups. And so we have a lot fewer options on, between aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas and things like that. I just created another video, which I haven't posted yet, on how to create your own village from scratch from new friends, because this has become such a huge issue. And in the last few years, it's become even more exacerbated by the fact that we are no longer sustainably single income households. So when you add the pressure of an extended family being far away, like my parents live in Nigeria, my husband's parents live in another state, and not having free options nearby to watch your kids. And then you're adding on top of that this immense financial pressure where you also can't afford childcare just for recreational free time. Then you get this experience among millennials of basically being trapped by their parenthood. And I understand the Gen X perspective of, well, you're not entitled to my free time to help you watch your kids. You're the one who decided to have those kids. But at the same time, there is reasonably an implicit agreement, like generation by generation, like it's been assumed that when you have kids, your parents are going to help you with your kids, because that's just how it's always been. And so I think the solution is that if you choose to be a parent, and I'll say this from the Gen X perspective, I chose to be a parent. And so I understand that I am implicitly signing up to watch my grandkids unless I state otherwise. Like the mental and physical.
I feel bad that I wish my mother would like have my son all over the world or whatever. But at the same time, I know she has her responsibilities. And on top of that, like we got social media now. Our grandparents and them didn't have social media. You see people that are like in their 50s, 60s, 70s working out in the gym now, finding love, getting married in their 50s, 60s, 70s, having a life.
Grandma
and so
has a
now,
life.
yeah, and so now people have more to look forward to. Back then, they were chilling in their house, doing their same routine every day. And it wasn't like, they had so many other things to do. So they would sit in the house with their grandkids. But I feel as though we have been introduced to so much. We're evolving. This is just evolution. We're evolving. We don't even have family reunions and stuff like that no more. But when I tell you, we ain't really even family united as much as people were back in the day. We're not as united and together, and everybody's just living their own lives. So times have changed drastically. We've evolved into people.
Can
Yeah.
I?
Go ahead. I want you to say something.
I actually think it's very unfair that boomer parents or older Gen X parents are not stepping up to help watch their grandkids, because it's like that a lot of times we hear like that immigrant mentality. You feel like, oh, you made it over here, now let's shut the door. You got the benefit, now let's shut the door. Just like Elon Musk. Elon Musk has created his riches using government funds.
Now nobody else.
Yeah, I'm sorry, U.S. government funds. And it's like, but now you want to shut everybody else off from getting government funds. So I really don't understand the position that these grandparents are taking, where, I mean, unless you're working, I still get it if you still working. Actually, no, I don't. Because my grandma was still working. Literally, my grandma was like, is driven like 18-wheelers, hot shot, school buses. She's literally been in logistics my entire, I guess her entire life too, whatever, before she died. But I literally would be in the car or in the truck with my grandma riding hot shot. She was going to like drop off big industrial oil parts, like things like when you process oil. Like that was her job. I was with her. So she could have said, "No, Mitzi, I can't watch Aaron." You know what I mean? But she didn't. And I also think that has something to do with how she was raised, because people also pitched in for her to be raised. You know what I mean? Especially because her mother died early. You know, like my girl was like 9. So she was also the youngest. So, you know, the other kids, you lived on a farm in the country, you know, the other kids look after the young ones. But anyway, I do think it's kind of selfish of these grandparents to have that position when you literally reaped the benefit of having your aunties, your uncles, your parents, and your grandparents. Because my great-grandma used to watch me too. You had all that help, but now it's your turn and your kid got a kid, and you got to have a life too all of a sudden.
They're going to be in a nursing home.
Economy today.
They're going to be in a nursing home.
Why would you not help watch the
You ain't
baby?
living with me.
I don't get it, because like they had everybody helping. Everybody helping. But now all of a sudden you can't help.
Listen, I do not hesitate to tell my mama, when this baby come, I'm not pregnant. Practicing.
Finally.
She's gonna be watching the baby. I'm not saying that I'm not at all, but this baby gonna be over here all the time.
It's the family's baby.
All the
I
time.
also think it's so like, I guess it does depend on how you were raised. I mean, I grew up predominantly with my mother, so when I had a kid and I said, "Listen, I'm going to take full responsibility of this child," I took that as full responsibility of this child, because a lot of the times my mom did everything. For a good period of my time, my grandmother disowned my mother while she had me and my sister. So for me, when I signed up to having a child, I never even expected help from my mom, although I know she would be there.
So that's a trauma thing.
It's not a trauma. It's just the reality is that I can't have a baby with expectations of being spoiled by having some other help. Because the reality is, if the new norm is this, the new norm is that you're not going to be able to retire as early as you want. The new norm is going to be you have to work longer. That means us having to be the millennials with these kids. When those kids now become parents, they're going to look at it the same way as us. Listen, I got to be more active. I can't expect my parent or my child's grandparent to be there as often or frequent. I think, honestly, we've been spoiled by the village mentality and the community mentality, so that's why we're having a struggle. But one thing that I always realized...
They were spoiled.
one thing I always realized growing up, there was a lot of kids, and I would never want this to be the case, but there's a lot of kids who are now adults who valued their grandparent more than their parent. And it's because their grandparent wasn't the second set of parent. It was the parent. And I would never want, and then my mom is a great mom and I love her to death, but I would never want my mom to be overshadowed, to be the overshadowing mother figure to our children. As much as I love my mom,
Can I
but
say something? I understand your perspective, but I also think family is very important. We share blood. We're family. And one thing that other races do is look out for each other. Even when it comes to politics. Oh, like for example, let's just give this example of LeBron. That's my son. I don't care if he trash. Like, I'm putting him in there.
but that's the problem
it's
though,
family.
because
It doesn't matter. That's how politics works. That's how politics works. That's how family works. That's how those things work. We're abandoning family.
but
Let me
look at how
finish
he
real quick,
feels
Rico,
about
because
it.
I'll let you finish. We're abandoning
We're
it.
abandoning values. 'cause
We're
our
abandoning
values are
values.
different
Yes.
from our grandparents to what's going on now because of the economy.
Right.
Because we're actually worried about our own emotions.
Right.
We are seeking our own help to be better ourselves. As
Right.
So our parents, they didn't do that.
Right.
So now now that they have access to the same knowledge that we have, they take advantage of it. So I don't think it's
Yeah,
It may help
really
us
think
monitor.
about it. I will be damned if I was 62 years old, working full time, and gotta watch a 4-fucking-year-old running around. I don't even
somebody
have the
did it for
energy.
you.
Thank you.
Somebody did it for you.
No,
There
they
were
didn't.
sacrifices
It's
for
what I'm
family.
trying to tell you.
So for you personally, so this is a more of a personal
You're an
thing.
outlier. Like your situation is.
but what I-
But for
But no,
me, my
you
mom
gotta
is
think-
successful because she had help.
But-
Lots of help. I want to be successful and I want my family to have my back so that I can be as successful.
have
And you don't
your
have to
back,
be in a
though.
nursing home.
Yeah.
That's it. If
They
you don't
ha-
want to be in a nursing home, bro, help me because
But
at
the-
the end of the day, you will be getting your butt wiped by somebody who doesn't care about and getting ulcers because you didn't make sure that you babysat your grandkids.
There's a difference between help and then overextending.
You didn't have it, so
Well,
you
what I'm-
can't
no, no,
really
what I'm
understand it.
what I'm saying is wanting your parent to watch your kid every other weekend or every weekend like they are a joint custody parent
No.
is not realistic, right? That is not, especially in today. If you, I'm not saying 2, 3, 4, 5 months your parent doesn't see your child. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But if you got 1 weekend a month out your parent, that should be suffice, right? Like that's how I look at it. And that's called help. Anything else is called parenting.
But for me, it's one hand washes the other. I'm there for my family 100%. So at the end of the day, it's one hand washes the other. Oh, you need these wooden things moved. Oh, you need the snow plowed. Oh, you need I just help my grandmother's plumbing. I make sure I look out for my grandma because I am appreciative. My son is with my grandmother and I am not worried. My son is with my grandma. He's going to have shea butter all over him when I get home. He's going to be in his pajamas. He's going to smell good. When I pick my son up, I be like, Dad, Grandma, how you did that? She be humming him to sleep. He needs that old good love.
He only
Not
needs
the
it because
one
it
that's-
wasn't
that's-
passed down. So you gotta
Let
understand.
me finish, Rico. Damn, because we be letting you finish.
You don't.
At the end of I've been quiet. It's been hard.
All right.
I'm working on myself.
I appreciate
But
it.
at the end of the day, like my grandmother gives my son a type of love, and she knows about kids so much that the things that I'm challenged with, because my son is like on the spectrum. So the things that I have challenges with, and I'm so overwhelmed and it's so hard, I depend on my grandmother and my mother to pick up the pieces where I don't know it all because they have the experience. So because you've had my cousins and my mom and everything, you know how to help me in certain areas, and I need that help. I need that support because I have gone mad. Like I've lost my mind at one point because I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing?
And
And
are
you
a
need the
first-time
help.
mom,
I'm a
though.
first time
Yeah.
mom.
Are you
so
an
if
only
it wasn't
child?
for a while, I was the only child. But even outside of that, I
Yeah,
have
sister.
friends like one of my close friends. Y'all met her, Aisha Diaz. Her sister is Ashley, and at the end of the day, she had kids and needed freaking help.
No, so
She wasn't an only child. Mad siblings.
My point is, a lot of times family dynamics do start in the house. So does even parenting skills. So if you have a parent who is working a lot and you have younger siblings, you tend to automatically start a parenting process, not in full, but in part, at a younger age, right? So as you grow older, it kind of becomes almost like secondhand.
That was cute, but I was the oldest of about 12 siblings. So I was starting that process at my auntie's house. You see what I'm saying? I was always at my auntie's house.
But what I'm saying is, there's a bunch of different ways that you can learn how to parent before you become a first-time parent. And in all honesty, I feel like everybody's situation may be different.
Yes.
Your child might be more overwhelming than others, right? So and sometimes some kids are very much chill. Like there's kids that don't do or need as much, so it's an easier parenting process. But we also got to understand that I look at it as a 10-year, 12-year thing. Because once your child's hit 12, you don't really need
you. So that's the thing about people today as well. You're not you know how many people have
what?
You know how many people have children that have like it's not as simple. Like some people's kids are not talking by a certain time. Some people's kids don't even walk. Some people's kids, you know,
I'm
like
not talking
it's
about
a
the
lot
kids
of
part. I'm talking about the whole childhood, right? So like half of their childhood, you really need to be very much there. Once they hit that preteen, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, they're at a point where you can go out and they're going to be home.
It's not true because that's not everybody's experience with children. So even from when your kids are small, for example, me, if I don't get my son straight and yoke him up and get him right, I might be parenting him a little bit longer than you are. That's just that. There's people who literally have children who they can never stop parenting. So there are a lot of different situations, but because it's not your situation or your friend's situation, or you haven't really experienced that, that's not something that you can understand, and that's okay. But do any of you have any disabled cousins, whatever? Nothing. Right?
My nephew is autistic.
Okay, so I had also a cousin growing up that's been in a wheelchair, or, you know, he couldn't communicate. My aunt is still his full-time parent. He has to be catered to throughout the day. So again, everyone's experience parenting is different. And sometimes you just need that help, or sometimes you just need that break. Or, you know, it's not that I was the only child, but when I went to go hang out with my cousins, I was the oldest of all my siblings. I was teaching them how to read. I was teaching them how to do everything. So it's not that
What's 2 plus 2?
Right. You know, my mom had help. And
how you get the answer?
I said if Adam had
5 apples.
Right.
They be like, X.
And you just gave him the answer.
22.
I was a bad teacher.
I was a horrible teacher.
I was a bad teacher.
And then the father came in. It's like,
you gotta teach with fear.
Holding the belt.
I feel like we keep talking about grandparents and family, as, you know, second family to raise your children, or even just help. But like, we're missing community.
Yes, I said
Like,
that.
My mom didn't use her siblings or my grandparents to be like, okay, well, my girls need someone to watch them for the weekend, whatever. I was just always by their house. Well, growing up, my grandparents and my mom's siblings, they lived literally like 3 blocks away from us. So it was just very easy for us to always be there. Not because my mom needed someone to watch. So I didn't really agree with you saying that like grandparents should be seeing them like 2-3 times out of the month. Like that just
I never said
matter.
that.
What did you
said
say?
1 time a month.
Okay, I overextended myself. Actually, one time.
I said 1 time as a necessity. Anything else is extra.
Praise.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that because I was
How do you
Not
get
seeing
close
them.
to your
I never
family?
counted
I said
how much
taking the
time.
child. Like,
Okay.
taking
Them not
them.
grandparents. That's your parents' parents.
Exactly.
Grandparents help do stuff and raise you.
Okay, so we're gonna introduce
no,
this video. It has something to do with, you know, it's very related to our topic. It's about community, so we're gonna play it.
Before I get on your ass, my father.
Pause.
Why am I still living at the house, John?
Because we like our kids a little bit, and we made sure they're financially stable before I say get the fuck out. I'm not gonna say get the fuck out and they're not financially stable, so they end up moving back in.
What you got to say?
You know what I mean? If we love our children and we want to have them established before they move out, you do what you can as a parent to grow that kid and watch your goddamn mouth.
Let me tell you
That was a
something, you
husband, by the way.
simple-minded, remedial piece of dead salamander. Let me tell you something. Because my parents like me, I'm 23. I just graduated a year earlier in 2023. I was supposed to graduate in 2024. Nigga, I can't be prosperous. My parents can't let me try to establish myself just because you and your parents' relationship is dog water. Don't mean you gotta be on my dick. You hear me? How about you just go eat glass until somebody you have never met before gets tired? Ooh, look, a random lighter.
ADD. All right.
A dog? I'm gonna fight it.
A dog.
ADHD.
Doggy.
Some of those
Damn,
can't
boy,
live
you
alone.
look
And
like
you said I'm
a-
joking. I'm joking.
There's
You look
clearly
like a
other
black
reasons
man that
why
stands
he's
out in front of his house with a t-shirt on all the time. Built with a pot
dog,
belly.
a lighter.
Let me turn the camera around so y'all can see him.
Down south.
Damn, turn the camera around.
And he has beads in his hair.
Look
I can
at you.
guarantee you he's
Come
probably
here.
married.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
you
It's
nasty.
not.
But it's necessary. Like Asian people, they will all be living in a 2-bedroom, all 12 of them, and then they'll start multiple businesses, and then everyone is flourishing, and then now we're all shopping at their stores and eating at their restaurants when they all started from Sukjin's basement.
Wow.
And what happened to
There's no
Monday?
cop out there.
They started cutting down families. Hello,
Who started? And
you know what happened on Monday? Y'all know that Netflix
oh,
show?
yep. You couldn't
There
have
was a law passed that
you
they could
couldn't
only
have
have one
kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
China.
Mhm.
Is
But
that
no,
just-
but seriously
Oh,
though,
it was really good.
even like a lot of different cultures, they allow their families, like they support each other. It's family. Like I feel like maybe is it an American thing? Is it a social media thing that's changing everything?
They
Like
also keep the money within their culture, though.
exactly. And
So
we have
that's
never
the
done that as
difference.
African American. Well, I don't know.
That's not
Okay.
saying never. Or you know what I'm thinking about? Like the economic centers. They may not necessarily been in town.
You're supposed to put you're supposed to support each other. You're supposed to uplift each other. You're supposed to work together. Now we're at a point where we no longer do that. We've been broken down from experiences like that, where we've been burnt down every time we try to make progress. So now we're at a point where we don't even, I guess, maybe try. I don't know. So the community part is missing in our culture.
There's
I
also
think we finna be forced into it.
Hmm.
Forced back. We about to be forced back into communities. To be, I mean, I feel like I don't even need to explain that.
a lot of I feel like we have two extremes right now, right?
Okay, tell us.
We have the kids that were sheltered
Mhm.
and they are a different problem. And then we have the YNs who were outside. I don't think there's any balance between the two. And that's why I don't think that you should kick your kid out and let him figure it out, right? I don't agree with that. But I do think at some point you got to cut the umbilical. And you got to especially if it's a boy, you got to let him be a man. Because when a man has to be a man,
What's the age?
for me, in my opinion,
Well, just based on what you're saying, like at some point you have to cut them off. What's the age that you would?
I
believe
would
that's
say
ideal?
if you went to college,
That's what. Yeah.
if you went to college, whether or not you dormed there or you commuted, 3 years after graduation or 3 years after you leave.
I don't think there should be a specific time. I think it should
I'm
just
saying for a
literally be-
man, not for a girl.
So we have men, we make men, so just so we're clear, right? So for a man, rules should be different, right? And men should obviously operate differently. So, okay, after a certain period of time, a man should be out the house. I'm sorry, I'm just going back to even what we were watching with Ocho Cinco. Like there's certain behaviors that a man should have,
Oh.
right?
I see where
So
you're
you should
going.
start learning how to be a provider and start learning how to be financially well off. And you should learn early not to depend on anybody else. I mean, including
I don't
your
want to say
family.
see. I think I think we got to stop saying not depend. We all depend on something, a source.
No, when you leave the house after college, that means go depend on yourself and figure it out.
I mean, figure it out. I don't want to
No.
say depend on yourself, but figure it out, right? So like,
that's dangerous.
learn like because we all need like a gradual process, a transitioning process from being taken care of for 20 plus years and then being left on the street. It's gonna take time. That's why I said 3 years after post graduation or whatever the situation is with college, if you do graduate or don't.
What if you don't go to college
If you don't go to college, I would say
as a man?
4 years post high school.
So 20.
22. If you graduate at 18,
Okay.
I would say like 22 going into 23. Because if you don't go to college, I think like you should have had a plan. I don't think like usually, well, I don't know but today now,
plan.
but
We know plans don't work in life.
a plan actually
Always.
sets you up to walk down the path. I'm not saying you can't come back home, but you have to try and fail. I'm not saying like you're completely, you know, X'd out forever. Like, okay, listen, you're 26, you couldn't figure it out, you fell on your feet, you got to just suffer in your car. No, you can come back home.
Okay.
I'm gonna take you in until you figure it back out, give you a second chance. But I want to be your safety blanket, not your shelter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Allow you to utilize what we have as a trampoline to bounce back up, rather than just staying here and never going out and trying again. I mean, if I had to take on, I'm looking at it my own life. If I had to take on 2 kids at 28 years old or 29 years old, and I lived by myself, or on my own, I should say, majority of my 20s. So if I had to take on 2 kids and a whole family, right, at 28, 29 years old, and I never had that experience of actually getting it together, I would have crumbled. I would have fucking crumbled. And
They didn't. That's what I'm saying, because they had support.
what do you mean?
Like,
You talking about they didn't?
my mom had me at 17. I know multiple people who had kids young. Well, now that I'm a mom, I'm just like, how did y'all do that? Like, we would have crumbled. I am agreeing with you.
No, but I'm saying I've already been by myself, like on my own.
Right. I've been on my own since I was 17 too. But I'm saying even if I had a child then or now.
No, not 17. 17 is too early.
Oh, okay.
Like 17 is too early, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like, I'm saying, like, being that, like, I would say 22, 23, 24, actually 22, 23. At 23 to 24, I was back at my mom's. And then from 24 on, I haven't been, right? So because I had that experience already navigating through life, having responsibility, when all of my friends graduated graduated college, and or they were extended 5th, 6 years into college, and they came out, they were 24, 25 years old. I already kind of understood life as an adult. I understood how to pay bills. I understand what my rent costs. I understand my car note. I understand how to balance my money. They still were trying to figure things out, and a lot of them didn't figure it out till now.
Yeah, but
right?
they still also had the opportunity too, because they graduated college. So now
No,
it's like
because
they've
that shit didn't even help a lot of them. None of them doing it.
I want to just say one quick thing. Instead of the guy's parents stated this in that video. So instead of kicking your kids out, what you said, 3 years post college or 4 years post high school graduation, why not like continue to parent them and make sure they're on the right track and allow them to stay at home? So the way you train a kid to be an adult is, okay, you got your little job.
You got your little job.
Like whether you're out of college or out of high school, whatever, you got your little job. And so now you need to start learning how to pay for your responsibilities. Okay. So now you pay your cell phone bill. Now you pay your car insurance. Now you need to put $50 worth of groceries in the refrigerator, even though you eating up 200. You know, like I think you eat, because I don't know. I'm not saying that parents aren't teaching these things already, but if you really want them to be able to leave your house and not return and flourish while they're out in the world, even if they're staying at home, you have to help make them into like useful adults.
But the problem that I see is that there's no real repercussions, right? If I don't pay my car note, my car's getting repossessed, right? Now, if I don't, put $50 in the groceries, I ain't got no food to eat at home. So these little responsibilities that happen, you tend to let them slide, and you tend to get like, because they might be like, yo, they messed their money up, and maybe they not giving you that 100, 200. So what's the repercussion?
Maybe your mama.
No, but I'm saying,
or maybe your daddy.
Saying, what's the repercussion then?
The repercussion is you didn't put in on these groceries. You need to go to your little friend house and eat.
Okay, so now,
like I don't.
So now,
the difference between that and them getting it on their own.
Thank you.
What do you mean?
If they're not doing it under your roof, what makes you think they're going to do it?
Being under, I think at the end of the day, being under.
Why wouldn't you do it under your parents' roof if they're telling you like?
Because your parents are going to be lenient with you to some extent. The consequences are nowhere near the same. And you're like,
I don't know. Yeah, we got different. I crashed my mama's car and I had to go to work at Subway, and she made me collect cans out the trash can at the gas station.
Pay for it.
I had to pay for that car.
Yeah, but you had to pay for it. Why?
Because I crashed her car.
No. Okay, if you didn't pay for it, what would have happened?
I don't know how my mom did it, but she instilled in me that I have to be responsible for everything that I touch or do.
No, answer my question.
So I don't know what you're asking. I don't get it.
So exactly, you did it out of respect, out of love, out of kindness. But you didn't do it out of fear of repercussions. there was no repercussion that you can actually think of that I didn't. If I said, "Yo, listen, mom, I crashed
She
your
called
car,"
the police on me. Maybe I thought I was going to jail. I don't know, which I don't
what I'm
know.
saying is the real life repercussions don't exist when you're still have that umbilical cord attached.
And they're also different. I'm sorry to cut you off. They're also different between men and women.
Mhm.
So that
Yeah.
staying home and letting your mother or your father just enable you as a man, that would make you less of a man in your 20s and slow you down like long term.
But see, that's the problem. Like, if you as a parent are not preparing your child to go out into the world, you better 100% expect for them to bring their sorry, trifling asses back to your house.
Too.
And I think that's where you mess up. If you, and I think this is, even though you guys saying men and women are different in this regard, I think that you need to have some kind of skills. You need to know how to like pay your bills. You need to know what your important documents are. You need to know your social security number. All the things that your parents have been doing. At some point, your parents have to cut, even though you live with them, your parents have to cut the umbilical cord to allow you to be an adult. They still might pay your car insurance, right? But you still got shit. My parents was paying my car insurance, my cell phone, and everything. I was away.
But
Shit.
you're also a woman.
It doesn't
But
matter.
they're paying your brothers?
I don't
a
know.
woman. She was a woman. I was a thug at 7. Like I had Gabby, am I lying? Sorry,
But you're
am I
still
lying?
girls, what we're saying.
No, I could not. I had to get it. I had to figure it out. I ended up.
So let me ask you this
nightlife
question.
early.
We've all heard this, and the question is the quote unquote average time, and it might have changed as of now, but before, the average time it took a man to get financially stable was 32, 33. Okay. and if we're going based on the people who were at that age, prior to, then we're looking at people who were not millennials or early millennials, like one of the first millennials, and Gen Zers, Gen X's, right? So that means that they were typically the ones that were getting out by that 22, 23-year-old mark, right? So what I'm saying is those stats that we have for, I don't want to say if they're real or not, but the data that has been flooding the internet is based on the Gen X or the early first millennials, which means that they were growing up with that same mindset of, hey, 18, 21, whatever it is, get out, get a job. So it took you 10 years to figure it out. Now Alan is saying that the number is probably like 43. You know why? Because them niggas is staying home longer. And it takes figuring out how to adult as a man, I can't speak for a woman, is difficult as fuck. A lot of times when we hear these crazy stories of the success, we're not talking about support. We're talking about babying. Okay?
No, we're not. No. We're talking about support.
Whoa.
No, don't say what we're talking about.
When I say cut the umbilical, that means you're babying, because that is what it is, right? So when you have support with saying, again, if you fall, come back to the house. I'm going to help you get back on your feet. That is support. I'm not saying abandon support. You're fortunate your mom took a gamble on you, right? Most parents won't, especially if you're 21. I'm not taking out $100,000 and giving it to a 21-year-old, especially with these YNs today, right? But at some point, we have to understand, again, we are living in two extremes. We have the one that's the balanced. We have the one that's the babied, who's been sheltered, who can't become a man and don't even know how to gain footing to walk as a man. And then you have the other ones who have been outside, left outside, abandoned outside, play outside, or are YNs outside, right? So I feel like, again, there's no balance here. But yes, you should have support, but you should also cut the umbilical cord. When I have all of my closest friends, right? Well, not all, but now the ones that had finally made it through the process. All of my closest friends today all had great family dynamic and supportive households. From both their parents. 2-parent households, and they got that support. However, we all worked and hustled the same. And I was the one that didn't have what they had. I didn't have that same financial support. I had to figure it out.
Exception.
No. You're not listening. Y'all got to start to listen with
First
your
of all,
ears.
don't yell at us. You're yelling at me and you're yelling at Alan.
I'm not yelling.
He's our boss.
I'm just saying, listen, because you asked me a question. I'm trying to answer your question.
Yep.
So basically, when you have two people, you have two different groups of people doing the same thing, right? Now, I also watched the ones that had the unbuilt that was babied. All of them failed in life. They're either junkies, lowlives, lazy, unmotivated. But the ones who was hustling like me, that did have the supportive system, whenever we fell, I was down there by myself. They was getting picked up and dusted off by their parents. So that's how you compete. You compete by letting your child go out, especially a man, go out there and try to figure it out and pick him up, dust him off, put him back on his feet, and get him started so he can go. That's the best way to do it. When you start to do all this baby and shit, now you have a grown-ass man who's still acting like a baby, who can't function in real life, and he can't deal with the pressures of society as a man.
I agree and disagree, because in this on this couch right now, you and I are more alike than, they have both their parents. No, in a way where you guys all had your parents, right?
No, Rome was outside since 17. He was a YN.
Okay, he was a wild boy.
Why are you speaking for
I was
Rome?
outside.
Rome wasn't a YN.
Yes, he was.
He looks like
He was a YN.
No, but I'm just saying I can relate to you in that aspect, because maybe I'm not qualified enough to be on this couch, but I'm an exception, and I know that. And I always talk to even my godson. I talk to, his mom about it's like politics, and there's like exceptions, and it's like you gotta want it. And sometimes if you want it enough, you're gonna get it. But then there's people who have to just go by, if I was spoiled and I didn't have the drive and the hunger that I did, I probably would never have experienced certain things in my life. And it is an exception. But at the same time, if you have the support and you have people in your life that can help you to get there, you have a higher percentage of getting there rather than people who don't have that support. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I have a question. I think we're also talking about 2-parent households and single mom households. I can't even say single father households. I'll just say single mother households.
Why you can't say single?
Because
My daddy said he was a single father. He do.
I think that's a huge difference in what he's talking about, because not only did he have his father, but he had his uncle as well.
Okay.
I don't know if
Yes,
mother
yes.
was in the picture, but just at least 2.
Yeah, at least.
So this whole thing is it's completely off unless you figure out what is the household to begin with.
Right.
My second thing was kind of going back to the whole community thing, like you said. I want to know if you didn't see your mom and your grandmother and that community in your life, would that have changed your thoughts on having a child?
If I didn't see
Meaning, like, for example, my mom lives out of
yes.
state.
Yeah.
So when I was going to have a child, she lived out of state. So I knew I wasn't going to have that community.
Gotcha.
But I also know that I wasn't at my grandmother's house when I was a child. So I kind of knew it was going to fall on me.
I was so used to my mom having help when I was younger. Because again, my mom had me graduating high school, and my dad got locked up. You know what I'm saying? I was at his family's house. My mom had my father's family took care of me, and my mother's family took care of me. I was very close to both sides of my family. I didn't know that there was any other option but for your family to be there. So I didn't expect anything else. And I'm not lacking that. It's just that it's a little bit different, and it's not as often or frequent. Now again, I don't, like he was saying, I don't expect anyone to parent my children. I don't. But at the same time, the help is needed. You know what I'm saying? Because it's if I had known that I wasn't gonna have it as good as my mom had it, I probably would have been but again, you don't know about parenthood until you're in it. Oh, sorry. You don't know about parenthood until you're in it. I swear. Because everybody wants a kid. And maybe this is a new conversation, because this is something that's just starting to happen. Everybody wants children, right? Until you have children, you realize, oh my God, I'm about to explode. You know what I'm saying? So I never saw any other mothers like that. I never saw that growing up. I never saw people yeah, you curse us out, whatever, but we having fun. We with our cousins, we watching WWF. We walk into the park. I almost broke my arm 3 times outside. Nobody's watching me. It was different. But now times have changed so drastically that it's you barely want to let your kids walk across the street by themselves. People want to kidnap and sex traffic and and then it's where are the cousins? Everybody's moving to different states. So it's everything is just completely different. And had I ever thought that it wouldn't have been how I grew up, I probably wouldn't have been excited to have kids.
So a question to ask the women. Question to ask the women of in the sphere
Mm-hmm.
is if you can have a child and you know your parents aren't going to be there and you know his parents aren't going to be there, is that going to change your thoughts on bringing a child into this world?
Because because people are saying FTK
Well,
a
it's because it's
lot.
very
Well,
expensive.
it is expensive to have kids, so having family support, I think, is a big thing.
Women are getting abortions
So-
a lot too.
Okay, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know about that, but like if it is a financial burden for you to bring a kid into the world, I can see someone, double guessing. That's what you say?
Nobody
Second
thought about
guessing.
financial
Second guessing.
burdens. Back then, nobody thought about financial burdens because it was like my
They ain't
mama and my
lying.
grandma gonna help me.
What I'm saying, the conversation now is knowing our economy
Okay,
and knowing
yeah,
where we're
don't.
headed
No.
and knowing that
Yeah, I could see
Men
someone
aren't sticking
second guessing,
around.
knowing that they
Yeah.
don't
yeah.
have family support. But I think that if you're well off and you can do it by yourself financially,
Mhm.
I think that people will still go ahead and do it.
So here's a scenario. My husband and I have been together for 5 years. Every year we save for a vacation and we always go. It's something I look forward to because we work hard and I believe traveling together keeps our relationship strong. But this year he says he doesn't want to use our vacation fund. Rather, he wants to invest it. He thinks the economy is too unstable and that we should focus on securing our future. I'm upset because I feel like we deserve this break and I don't want to skip something we've always prioritized. I've saved my half, so I'm still going on vacation without him.
She's well.
Am I wrong for going solo or is he wrong for changing our plans? That's interesting.
how's the plan change if you're still going to go anyway?
Go
Well,
next
I don't
year.
think that he's wrong for changing the plans. The man has wants to prioritize his money elsewhere. I don't think that's wrong. But girl, if you're gonna go on a trip by yourself, taking your half, I don't think that that's wrong either. To be honest, because you probably are prioritizing that vacation more than he is. You probably need it more than he is. Like
What?
what do you mean? I'm not speaking Spanish. Hold on. Like she really needs a vacation. They live 2 different work lives, I'm assuming. She probably really needs a vacation. He doesn't care about a vacation. So
That's
she
fair.
can still go on vacation. She just has to make sure she comes back and put her half back into the investment.
So lie.
How is that a lie?
I mean, you can
How
take
is
a
that-
year off.
How is that a lie? She's taking her half
Uh-huh.
that she had already put aside for the vacation
Mhm.
fund. And if she's going to use her half to still go on vacation and say that was like $2,000-$3,000, girl, when you come back, make sure you have $3,000 to put back in the pot to
Man.
invest.
So she needs $6,000.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
But that's if she still wants to go on vacation, girl. That's what you got to do.
But I thought when you're married, it's your money.
Yeah.
Don't you guys preach that all the time?
But she just said her half. So whatever he was making, they had a vacation fund.
He is. His armpits is wet.
I'm actually not sweating at all. I promise you.
Honestly, I feel as though you got the wrong girl. Because if this is gonna make more income for our future, so that we don't even got to go through this, we don't even got to talk about this. The vacation and the time, everything is accounted for. Whatever, we don't even have to have this conversation. Let's grind it out so that we don't even have to talk about this.
Well,
Like,
in Amanda's defense,
no vacation this year.
in Amanda's defense, what happens if he invests it and he loses it? And now there's no vacation and no money.
I never said that. I just said if the vacation is that important to you, go. But to put the shit back though.
If you married, but it's not that easy. If you're married to someone and the goal, if there's a goal, let's reach that goal. Let's reach that goal. I just feel that way personally. If we want to have fun and we want to have a good time, they got stuff. You could drive 2 hours, go to have some hot towels, get butt naked, take an e-pill. I don't know, like do something to have a good time. But at the end of the day, but it's not. You want to see palm trees and sun? Like, hey, you can find fun other ways. But if me and my man have a goal, we're gonna stick to it. I'm not going on the trip without
In
you.
the Bronx.
I didn't say
Not
the
that
Bronx,
one. Ew.
But you can hop in your
Ew.
car and take a cheaper trip. but I just don't want to sacrifice the goals that we have in place
But
for a year of missing vacation.
they don't have a shared goal because she said
He
that
has a different.
exactly,
Yeah.
and she's been going or they've been going on vacation.
They're already married, so what they gonna do?
And they were
Divorce?
married. They've already been on vacation. She probably ran her mouth on the last vacation. He don't really want to go.
It ain't even
Like-
peaceful for him. Like,
There
yeah.
y'all go
Probably
throwing
ran
shit in.
vacation.
You're throwing shit in there. And you're making it seem like she was the problem on the last vacation.
She
So
was.
XYZ. You guys are stupid when you guys do shit like that. Like that did not happen.
Wait. Yeah, I was about to say it.
It's actually-
She's a hoe.
She's a hoe.
Thank you.
Oh my God, everybody's a
Clearly
hoe.
what it
And we all knew. And we all knew before the vacation.
Oh my
That's why she
goodness.
wanna go on a girls trip.
He actually met her on vacation.
Yeah, she doesn't only just want to go without him. She wants to go with
she's-
another
At
dude.
the end of
her
the day,
side
she's
dude.
probably with you, and she mad that she gotta risk another year. I mean, miss another year of
Like,
vacation.
what am I
She
doing
with-
investing with this?
Yeah,
dumbass?
I'm with this broke ass and like,
Well,
why the fuck is we?
She
we
wants
can't
to
even
go
see
on
a palm tree and
vacation
some grass.
and find another nigga, and she wants to turn up and
She
have
already
fun.
married.
Especially in Trinidad. So what we're gonna do is
Why?
She's a hoe.
She's a hoe.
She's a hoe.
She's a hoe.
But no, they don't have shared dreams. or
well
shared
let's
goals.
let's
But
actually
actually
take
they
into
did.
consideration.
He did.
Let's
And he did what she wanted to do. He took her on vacation for so long. And now he's like, listen,
Well,
we
if
done
I'm a
been on
problem,
10
let's
vacations.
break up.
we've been to the same fucking resort,
Exactly. Can we-
the
Oh,
same
y'all making
fucking
stuff up
excursion.
for real,
Exactly, you're making
because y'all
stuff
not
up
taking
because
nobody on 10
with the
vacations.
same box.
Who says that they go to the same exact
What was the
place
last
every
two
year?
vacations you've been on? What was the last two vacations you've been on? Because
You
I'm
can't
gonna
ask
need
Rico.
I'm gonna
He's
need data.
He's gonna have answers for you.
And where's the
Rico?
family? And
No,
where's
I didn't.
No, don't bite your lip
I
now.
didn't hear what you said.
The last
That
time you
would've been
brought a
funny
woman
if I
on
did, though.
vacation, and where did y'all go? Hurry up, you got 10 seconds.
To heaven.
My
So
God,
what we got?
Y'all niggas always talking junk and don't even be y'all not even doing it. Why are y'all talking junk?
I remember.
We've been on vacation. We've been doing this and doing that. Shut the hell up. We talking about the people that's actually going on vacation and taking their whole family multiple times.
The
for her to
whole
get on
family? He
Your,
didn't
for her
say
to
the
get on your
family.
nerves in the first place. Ain't nobody getting on your nerves. Y'all ain't going nowhere with them.
So she's definitely getting on his nerves nightly.
First of all,
On a
whatever.
daily. But look, so clearly there's
Y'all be talking about stuff y'all
inflation
never
and
experienced. I can't stand that.
well,
Man.
well, check this out. The guy watched this video, and this is why he wanted to make that investment and try to get more stability in his household.
That's the cost of living crisis. Suddenly we went up from prices being around there to prices being there. And you don't really see that in this data, okay? Because inflation is really just measuring the difference between that and that. And if you look at those two lines, you're talking about a 2.3% change. That's the number we're talking about today. But for a lot of people, it's not about that. It's about the difference between this and that. And when you look at the difference between this and that, that's 20%. And I think that's the dichotomy here between these inflation numbers where it looks normal and this, which is really not normal at all.
2021.
I said 2020, I thought.
2021 is where it
And
went.
she went on vacations 20,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
2019, 2018, 2021.
Whose side are you on?
I'm
'Cause
on
at
his
the end of the
side,
day,
clearly.
Can I
I
offer
don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
the trip?
And also, we have a married person on the couch, so please tell us what you
First
would
of all,
do.
I'm always on your side, so don't start with me. Every time you talk, you see me.
Okay, so I actually had to go back and read the prompt because they've been married for 5 years. And it says, every year we've saved and we always go. He said, but this year he says he doesn't. So that leads me to believe they've already saved their money. And now it's vacation time. And he's saying, oh, we should invest.
She already had her half.
Yeah, they actually, both of them
both
had
had
their
their half.
halves.
Exactly. So shit was done.
Yeah. So, I mean, I actually, while I understand him wanting to prioritize finances in an economy that he believes to be unstable, I also feel that you don't get to change the rules exactly at the end of the game. It's 2 minutes left. So what you should have done, because the economy was unstable 6 months ago. The economy was unstable this time last year. And so what it seems like is he knew he wanted to do something different. So rather than just being upfront about what he wanted
That's a fact, 'cause they be doing that.
and stated like, hey,
Mhm.
this next year, can we try something different with our disposable income?
This making more sense than the whole story.
So instead of waiting to the last
You
minute,
could have got the idea later.
like, I mean, really, it's putting her in a bad position. So it's like, why do I have to change something that I've literally been saving for and hustling for and looking forward to for the last year for you to change it right now? why didn't you just bring this up a year ago? Because the economy was the same.
Well, imagine your husband coming into bed one night like, I just saw this video online, and now I don't think we should go on vacation.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all.
I would have been like, I know you fucking lying.
I love being financially stable so much. And I'd be like, man, F that vacation. I'm the only person probably, I don't know, in this situation. Forget them palm trees. What you got for me? Like, I'm
get
different.
that.
Like,
I get that.
I don't need that vacation. I do not. You put me on and let me know what we about to do so that I don't know. I feel like the living goal, even if it's last minute, I don't care. The lifestyle and like the goals that we have for our lifestyle, I'm not gonna lie. And this situation is more important to me because if we can invest money that'll help our future, I'd prefer that over going on a little vacation that we could go on next year or the year after, or maybe even in a better vacation when we have the revenue or whatever, the you know the word I'm looking for, the extra funds, because I like an expensive vacation. I don't want to take no cheap, cheesy vacation. I want to actually go on a nice yacht. You know,
So
certain
listen to
footer,
this.
you know,
We also
maybe we can get a couple extra feet on the yacht when we, you know.
You have to also, again, looking at what the prompt was. Let's just say they put together 10 and 10, and we knew that the economy was unstable last year. So you think right now in an unstable economy, you think right now is the time to invest?
But see, that's the thing, though.
Like, what do we?
Because when it comes to
No, I'm saying, what are we invested in? What are we investing in? Because you say, oh, we're going to invest in X. I'd be like,
No.
X don't make sense right now.
But
Y does.
I agree with that, but you know, sometimes people get like, for example, when I was day trading or whatever, sometimes you see what like extremely rich people are investing in. So if anyone who gets involved,
They're not extremely rich.
No, exactly. But what I'm saying, anybody who gets a hold of this information, maybe they get a hold of some information like that, because then it would make sense. Insider trading type situation,
okay.
whatever.
So now we're going to jail.
No, I'm just saying, not like, but yeah, maybe. But still, like, you know, there could be a situation. No, not insider trading.
Now there
but
goes
like,
my vacation.
maybe you can follow trends.
You got a vacation now. Maybe clank.
Maybe
Like,
you can follow trends, you know. but just examples. Like, there's probably something that they could have bumped into that could, you know, be beneficial. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it could be an opportunity. There's no timing for an opportunity.
What if he came to you about this opportunity with a whole plan? Like, hey, listen, I just found this out about a week ago, and this is blah, blah, blah. He lays it all out for you. Do you still choose the vacation?
I think if the plan makes sense, and if I think that this is something that I know that he is good at, so I trust his leadership on this, then yeah, I'd be down. But don't come to me talking about you finna go renovate a house. Because what I do know is you don't know shit about renovating a house. I do. You say, oh, I got a deal. We can invest in a 20 building apartment.
You'd rather
unit.
go on vacation than renovate the house. That could be
No.
The investment has to make sense.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
It'd be different if I brought an investment talking about real estate and I done laid it all out, right? But I'm saying if you bring it, but you don't know shit about real estate,
so you just talking.
You just your homeboy told you something, or you got some insider trading information.
Maybe that's my problem. That's probably why I be losing money, because I be like, I'm down.
Or some insider bullshit.
Yeah,
and you just got hopped up with that information.
Yeah. Now you done took our little vacation money.
When you say it that way, Erin.
The vacation, and I think being able to take a vacation living in the United States is very important because we don't get vacation.
Every time I go somewhere, I'm like, dang, I want to live here.
The rest of the world, they get like child, they get it's like every day is a national holiday. Then they get their 8 weeks off a year, you know? Like, I think vacations over here are really important. Yeah. And I'm not saying that I would personally say, no, I need this vacation. We not investing.
Do you think Trump should take the benefits away from people that's been dependent on them all their lives?
I mean, that's what the people voted for. Shit.
You think it ain't right, or you think that it's time for them to get up on their feet? Get up, get on up, get on the ceiling, get on up.
I think that's what the people wanted. So that's what
they gonna get.
No more Benzes in the hood, baby. That's crazy. I'm not laughing, but
I mean, we're not the
political panel.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. But
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. Honestly, I would actually love to hear what the people in the comments gonna say about this, because you gonna have everybody. Oh, she want to go on a vacation and instead of investing in her future in a fucking unstable economy.
You got to be a man that can lead.
I was about to say, yeah. I mean, your husband is
Unstable
different.
economy?
But that is if you trust your husband 100% in investing. Like if that's some shit that y'all talk about and the opportunity finally presented itself, I could understand being like, okay, yes, finally, like.
Not you hit a lick. Oh man, I got since we're starting our new year to save for our annual vacation, since we know things are crazy right now financially, what do you think about foregoing the vacation and we, invest this lump sum?
Whenever it happened, I communicated, hey, listen, we've been on vacation for the past 5 years. This opportunity came up. This is the plan. Even in a relationship, somebody got to listen with the 51 and somebody got to listen with the 49. Somebody's going to make the decision, right? And somebody's going to be mad or somebody's going to go with it. So that's
So the 51 saying,
babe,
we're not going on
enough
vacation anymore.
Be the 51.
Again, it is a leadership question, and it all depends on what is presented. Is that your strong suit? What are the chances of success? What's the plan? Really enough to convince me to do something otherwise with my money.
our money.
Well, again, they have decided to put in half and half for their vacation.
I get it.
So
exactly. So you keep saying our money
because y'all usually get up in here and say money is all the same.
Legally
So
legally they're both equally entitled to the money.
I get it.
So
I just want you to say our like y'all say our every time.
First of all, I don't want
it is their money.
Listen, I don't like to be responsible for money because I know what I want to do with it. I want to eat.
Because on it, never mind.
So we just more?
Oh, I definitely cook. Fresh meals, fresh food.
What?
Yes.
You look in the refrigerator, I have pre-made food. It's the same thing every day because my wife does not cook. So let's get right to the point. Do you cook?
No. Jack, do you cook?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with her?
You can't cook or you don't want to cook.
So I want to give you guys actually a fun fact. The fun fact is after this show, the black guy and her got divorced.
And his wife?
Because he had an experience of
Because he said the other one was better.
What? Wait.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
It's a wife swap.
It was a wife swap for like
Not
I think
gonna
it's 2
lie.
weeks or something.
Oh wait, I thought you were saying that he went to the other wife.
No, like the way the treatment was better, so he left that woman and I don't know if he got another wife or what. But look, his mother was probably the same way. A lot of times men date their mom.
I guess he should have picked better.
He was just dating the
I
love.
didn't even
He
want to
did.
go there.
He definitely did.
Or he was just
did.
dating for love.
He definitely did. Scissors all 2025.
Because you marry somebody that don't cook.
By the way, guys,
don't
that was
be
not
mad at
true.
that.
I made that up, but I like the fact that we're coming to a
But why would
consensus
you?
here.
But you see how you made a fake narrative on those black people?
I did.
Why would you do that?
What do you mean?
Like, why would you do that? Because I was actually thinking that was very ridiculous how they chose a white family to be the traditional wife and they chose the black wife to be
that was
the
very much
modern.
on purpose.
Well, they're both
Like-
traditional, is what they're saying.
But you
very
chose
much
to
on
say
purpose-
out your
on
mouth that the
purpose.
black couple got divorced.
Because he was relieved when he found out that there's a woman that actually cooks at different meals.
But she probably was.
No, we don't know about
that.
that. We're not talking about the quality of her cooking.
And that white people fridge was
Oh no! Quality of
This is
cooking.
not
We're
right.
not
makes a
talking.
difference.
Look, we're not adding any other piece in moving parts to this.
You're right.
You just added a whole.
I made that whole thing up, though.
Story.
The reality is he was relieved that there was new food being cooked. And the other guy was baffled that there was a wife that didn't cook.
But she said she would paint the
But what
bar.
I'm saying is that they're both traditional if you really look at it.
If Rico, you
I don't think
scary.
one's
What
mad,
made
one's
you tell
modern.
that full, like, you're scary.
What? Are you slow or which one?
No, like, what would make you, like, open your mouth and lie just so randomly? I don't understand.
Because it was one that cooked. There's no layers. One that cooked and cleaned and one that didn't.
I think I'm gonna quit again.
Men are
Sick.
So you're
My
gonna quit?
last day on it.
Like I'm sorry if you want a home cooked meal that bad.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's that important to you. You should have married somebody that cooked.
And I'm that woman.
Yeah,
I want to
about
cook.
say.
Or
I want to cook, and I don't really want to work. I'm gonna be honest.
Two, you go and cook yourself. Like, or like everybody says, oh, just go pay somebody to do it.
Let me
Go
tell
pay
you
somebody
something.
to do
Let me
it.
tell you something. You gonna get one or the other though.
Go pay somebody. Because you remember y'all can pay for everything.
Y'all can pay for everything.
So
Rico,
go
you
pay
said
somebody to
that.
do it.
I'm gonna cook every single day. It doesn't have to be your situation, but we just talking about real shit. Like honestly, I'm a person that likes to cook often. For like, if I could cook every day, if we got the groceries,
And that be
I
your-
love being at Whole Foods, being like, oh my god, they have this. Oh my god, I
Like
haven't
Meghan
seen
Markle.
it. I love being at the grocery store finding new ingredients, but that's just me. Like, I'd rather do that than be at work doing.
It's fair.
You know what I'm saying? I enjoy that.
That
I
she
come do
actually
something that I
enjoys.
enjoy, but at the end of the day, dinner was always on the table. My son was always bathed, moisturized. His food was always perfect. Like, I don't cook like a loser.
My kid is not ashy.
My son is never ashy. My home.
That's important when
sometimes-
you're dark skinned.
Sometimes, yeah, exactly. My crust was a little bit crusty today, but at the end of the day, like, I would make sure that I was extremely, like, I was a perfectionist in certain areas because it's like, all right, I don't got to work, so let me make sure I'm great in those areas
The best of your ability.
to the best of my ability. Now, did my
Fair.
house get a little messy sometimes, and I get a little lazy, and my son got on my nerves, and I didn't really get to the food part or the grocery shopping part? Yes, but for the most part, I always had these amazing meals on the table. I always made sure my son was well taken care of. Our house was clean. And sometimes I wanted to come and hang out with my friends and talk junk on a podcast. And I was perfectly fine with that.
So it still gave you room for a passion project.
There are some people that actually, like, I love getting up and grinding so that I can provide for my family. And they actually enjoy it. Like, they might enjoy their job, or they might enjoy just the just doing that. For example, there are things that I do that is like labor, but I enjoy doing it, so it doesn't feel like labor.
Do you
Like
think
washing clothes?
Do you think that some people trick themselves
I
into
hate
believing
washing
that?
clothes. Don't you ever say that to me again.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's the laborious task like that you're referring to.
Some people
women
hate
love washing clothes. It's like peace for them.
and I've learned that from my grandmother. Yeah, sometimes you could just fold clothes and watch movies, and it's just like, oh my god, oh my gosh, Sarah is about to get kidnapped. Oh my god! So
They
it
do
just
be playing
depends.
soap operas in the laundromat.
Mm-hmm. But it
did.
just depends.
Tell
Like,
I know
what
they're
you
alive.
do that you enjoy.
See no
Some
vision.
things are labor, but some things are enjoyable labor.
I don't know. Everybody got to work.
Yeah, I mean they don't. They really don't.
Oh, I mean, if you have it like that, going back to my term as far as being a woman of leisure,
It's been
And
hard to
having
transition.
options.
It's been hard to
I definitely saw that
transition.
episode the other
I
day.
heard you talking about if you're a woman of leisure.
Women of leisure.
Yes,
It was said so
and
many
it's a
times.
fact though. But it's a fact.
Because
Should've
it's
been put
different.
on the screen
people
every
don't-
time she said.
People don't
I'm
understand.
just saying, like somebody say, Aaron,
No.
do you want to go and work your job that you do right now, or be a stay-at-home mom? Please let me work outside the house. Like I just that has to be so redundant and like.
So once you experience being a woman of leisure, though, it's hard. When
Well,
you're
no,
no
no, but-
longer a woman of leisure,
No, no,
because
no.
I'm just saying that from experience.
I've never been a woman of leisure.
I've
But,
been a woman of leisure for a while, and then when you get out of that,
no. Were you a
I'm not
woman of
lying.
leisure or a
Yes.
stay-at-home mom?
No, I'm not talking about my baby
So
daddy.
before.
Yes, a woman of
See?
leisure that just I wake up.
I can
and
understand
do
how
what I
that's
want.
hard.
I wake up, I do what I want, I go where I want. Everything is paid for. My bills are paid for, and my bills have always been paid for. But at the end of the day, a woman of leisure is completely different than being a housewoman because
Absolutely.
there's a lot of responsibilities with being a housewoman. But being a woman of leisure, and again, guys, you might be over there doing your little roll eye, Rico, but I have my best friend of 30 years. That can vouch for me.
So what
She knows
struggles?
I'm not lying. A woman of
so
leisure and a housewoman is two totally
Jada,
different
so
things.
what struggles do a woman or does a woman of leisure face?
The struggle is, oh my God, today I can't get caviar that is from.
So
Is it beluga?
Yes,
so,
like
let me
today.
let me actually okay. So let me rephrase this question so we can actually understand. Why didn't it work?
Why didn't it work? You want me to tell my business?
I mean, if a
It wasn't
woman
meant
of
to be a
leisure is the
husband,
ultimate goal,
But it wasn't my husband.
why not?
Because it was never meant to be my husband. I was in a situation where I was a woman of leisure for a certain period of time.
What I'm saying is, if that is the goal, why not keep?
I never said that was a goal. I'm just explaining the difference between the two.
I'm saying the goal would I would love to be a man of leisure.
Hello.
We know that. You've said that.
Right? So
We know you do.
Rome would love
to
to
say Rome.
and I'm pretty sure every woman
I'm
would
just
love
telling you that I've been both, and I prefer a woman.
No,
of leisure.
what I'm
That's
asking,
all I'm saying.
it's not about what I'm asking is very simple. If
We
the
don't have to
goal is
relitigate
to
this.
have a life of leisure, whether you be a man or a woman, being that I've never been a man of leisure
Okay,
and
I'll tell
you've
you
been
about
a woman of leisure, why not keep that leisure lifestyle?
Sometimes things expire, things happen. You don't know, you don't make every step perfectly. So when I said something, the wrong thing in a text message, I ruined my whole situation because of a certain situation.
you send?
I sent the text message to the wrong group chat, and my man was in the group chat.
What was the text message about?
I ain't gonna talk about it, but what I'm gonna tell you is that I was a woman of leisure until I was an immature, irresponsible woman. That's just that. And I ruined my situation.
So leisure,
That's it.
but
Now, leisure was I was going to the Louis store, sipping champagne, and frequently purchasing.
I'm not talking about the
whatever I
lifestyle.
wanted.
Jada, was that your goal though? Because he keeps saying if being a woman of leisure
said it
was your
wasn't.
goal. But you also said that he wasn't your husband.
He wasn't my husband.
So your goal is to have a husband. So that situation was never going to be long term.
So now that I've experienced both, I really don't know because you enjoy having a family and being with someone that, like, okay, I can see, like, okay, we have a family, I have a husband, we make investments together. That's an important experience, and it's.
I just want to know if I have the luxury of time and money, why would I do anything to jeopardize that?
You don't do it on purpose. I just said it was an accident. If I was married to this person,
what
it would
did
have
you
never
do?
been a divorce. I'm not gonna tell you.
It's not about desiring, because the thing is, you can't even value what you desire, because if you valued it, you would have kept it.
That's
said it was
absolutely
an
the
accident.
opposite. It was the opposite. I fudged it up. Period.
But that just proves my point.
No, I did something dumb and I fudged it up, and I
Why
wasn't
would you
married,
do
so
something
it wasn't
dumb?
solid. It was an accident.
No,
I'm not gonna tell you what I did.
You were doing it.
No, you're dumb because you want it to be what you want it to be. And I'm telling you that I messed up and said something in a situation that I thought was private, and I sent it to the wrong group chat.
Why would you even have that?
It had
thought?
nothing to do with any outside
God.
people. You know what, Rico?
I'm just
You're acting mad light skinned, and I don't got time for
No,
this.
I want to
You
know.
want your light skin answer. You want
if
somebody
you
to say
have,
like,
if I have gold in front of me,
light skin too,
I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
going to push it to the side.
babe. Okay.
We got confused.
This is the prompt. I am a man.
Oh,
I have been with my
I
boyfriend
understood.
Yeah, we
for
weren't
2
listening.
years, but lately my feelings for him have faded. I've realized part of the reason is a female coworker I can't stop thinking about. I've identified as gay my whole
Makes
life
sense
and
now.
never felt attracted to women until her. She feels like a soulmate and I can't ignore it. Now, I want to break up, but I don't know if I should tell my boyfriend the real reason. Since he knows me as only being into men, I worry he'll think I lied. Should I be honest or keep it simple?
I get it. You're good at this.
Just added a sentence.
I'm a man.
I am a man.
That changed the whole.
Honestly, it
Because I was lost.
Yeah.
once you said that, everything else made sense.
Dang. I mean,
Just
you
get outta
bisexual.
there.
No. That's not what that is.
How?
What is it?
Oh, what is it?
He's just a curious.
Let us know.
He was lying to himself.
I don't
He was never gay.
personally believe in that. So I'm gonna let y'all go.
I honestly don't feel like. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all talk first while I gather my thoughts.
I just want to know: are you gonna tell the girl that you want to leave your man with that you were with a man? Yeah, that's
a good question.
That's what
very
I want.
good,
That is
yeah.
first and foremost.
That's what I
because
want to know.
You feel like this girl is your soulmate, but does she like you? Do y'all got a thing?
Did you
Why
tell
are
her
you-
that you were gay? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like-
okay.
You
Does
don't
she know
think
about
They
your
work together, yeah. So
I think she knows he's gay.
She has
I
to
think
know,
I think
right?
he has the accent.
No,
accent.
not that.
Oh,
No, hold on.
my
Not.
God.
I'm not asking if she knows that he's gay. She probably very much well knows that he's gay.
Right.
Does she know
That he likes
that
her.
he likes her? Like, are they about to start a relationship? Why are you leaving your boyfriend?
Because he realized that he was gay for pay. I mean, like I don't know.
Is that a thing? Are people gay for pay?
I
Like
mean,
OnlyFans people are gay for pay, right?
What?
Only got
VR,
OnlyFans
I heard
men?
that's how it be.
I don't know anything.
No, like men that accept the intention. Sorry, I don't mean to get off topic. Go ahead.
I was just saying that because he actually likes a girl and that he feels like it's his soulmate. So that means he's been with I don't know how many partners that weren't women that were never his soulmate, but this one
Yeah,
woman.
but he also said
Okay.
that he's never felt attracted to women until her. So
Okay.
to me, it's like, okay, I'm not like fully attracted to women, but there's something about her. So that's why I wouldn't jump right out the gate and call him bisexual, because if you don't like now like woman as like a whole, but it's just like this one woman, if you're not planning on trying to be with this woman,
Isn't there a name for this?
Still don't get it.
who doesn't get it?
You're fluid. Like, what's the word
I don't
for
know.
it? When you okay, you're fluid. So you can be attracted to either sex. It's not. I guess it's, but it's bisexual.
But that's what she's explaining. She doesn't
Okay.
believe that it's bisexual because
Wait,
it's
there
like
is a
this
word for
It's
that.
just a one.
No, I don't.
This is a
I don't know what it
circumstance.
is though.
So you think it's just a circumstance?
Y'all got these new words, boy.
No, there are words for.
I know.
No,
the
there
word.
are.
I know the word.
I know that there
I know the
is,
word.
but so what is it?
Nope.
I'm not trying to
No,
get
sir.
canceled.
Not
Can
me.
you text it to me?
No.
Not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to know the word because I'm really curious.
So we have the Sagittarius is on the couch. It's a Sagittari. We're under the impression that she's probably maybe a stud.
He's saying that she's his soul
Right.
mate. Like
She just doesn't have gaydar.
I can't even get my mind off of her. Like he's fantasizing about her. He's in love with this woman. So I just think that maybe you should tell that person. Who cares if they thought that you were lying? Because I think you were lying to yourself. I
I'm not
think that
gay
you-
no more.
Oh,
women.
I feel like
I'm not gay no more. Like, I think
Y'all don't
maybe
know
he
it?
just was like, what have I been doing?
Okay.
Y'all know it's an inside joke.
It's an older person joke.
Women.
that's okay. I'm gonna be young over here.
It's from
It was the
Instagram.
beginning of Instagram, like when it first started becoming, like those things started becoming popular.
He just
But
wrote
I
in
was
to
there.
tell you how horny he was because that's just.
I was
it.
about to. Okay, so
But do you
the
want
real question is, should I be honest or keep it simple? I don't know why he would be trying to leave his boyfriend in the first place. I'm gonna just start there, because where's the conversation with this woman that you are
Yeah.
so like, I don't want to say obsessed, but like you so
Obsessed.
feel like she's your soulmate.
This is boredom. And I think that a lot of people get mentally, like they have mental problems because of boredom.
Mhm.
So you've probably been doing the most and now you're looking for your next
Thrill.
sexual adventure, your next thrill. You're probably tired of your butt rammed and you're probably trying to try something different. I'm just saying in general, like people get bored and I'm sorry, but like
It's good
I
to
feel
know
like
what
he-
this woman feels about him.
yeah, I feel like
because
he's
if
not.
it's a dub off rip, what are you leaving anybody for?
Well, okay, let's get off of that.
Oh wait.
subject.
But he's not a hoe.
yeah. He's all
Such a hoe.
men can't be hoes.
This is whole behavior.
The first thing that didn't come out of y'all mouth is that he is not a hoe. What?
Well, she's a bigger hoe
Oh my
because she's willing to be with a hoe and a hoe that is making an exception for her.
Yeah.
We
Do you guys think this is a mental problem though? You have been identifying
Yo.
as gay.
Ooh.
Because we have a bigger issue that's occurring in
Careful
life
with the
in
U
general
word.
now. People are changing their sexes and then they're changing. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh shoot, I have a penis now, but I was a girl and now I like men. Or
Exactly.
I was-
They always change who
this
they're
is
attracted
mental
to as well.
issues now.
Ooh.
No. We're talking about transgenders.
Okay, yeah.
So
when
it's like, this is
trans,
like
sometimes
beginning
when
stages.
they
Where do we go? Okay.
We everywhere.
No, because
No, I
he
don't
is
know how
interested
we
in a
got
woman now. No, he's
But he's
interested in
not
a
a
woman
trans.
now. I know, but then I'm saying that this sounds like mental, like
Okay.
uncertainty, like mental illness. Because if you are identifying as gay, then you're gay, and then now you're deciding that
At this
you,
big old age.
yeah, you're not bisexual, but you are now interested in a woman, and you want to be with a woman.
Horny.
Okay, so then that's what it is.
That's
It's
all
horny.
He called. He said,
It's
"Listen,
just your natural nature kicking in.
Yeah,
horny. You're just horny."
and I'll take that. Okay, fine.
And you think about pussy, like, God damn, that shit probably feel good.
Oh my goodness.
Like-
He probably met somebody that just gets him. Okay, fine. 'Cause
maybe
we're talking
you
about
know what?
men.
And to end this, I'll
Look
just
at the guys' faces. Like that just doesn't happen.
No, I can say that it does.
you don't just flip the script all the way, like
Maybe you Maybe you can't.
No more.
But there's a man out there that can.
What?
I truly believe poor people got to stop having kids. When you say it out loud, I understand how dangerous it is to say out loud. And I understand how it could affect so many even more disenfranchised people. Call me China at this point. Like, the population is out of control.
I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but if the adults in that car worked, would they have been in that position?
I literally know somebody that was working in the medical field and was sleeping in their car. Some people work 12 hours a day. Some people can't take days off. Listen, I'm not giving excuses, but I'm saying that we're talking about that level of poverty. He could literally be one of the lowest forms, and they don't have no play.
And all they had to do was take care of themselves. Can you imagine having to take care of children? Teenage children? You know how much kids eat? At the end of the day, everybody failed these children. Everybody. We want to police women's bodies and say that they have to have children and fetuses are a life and ... But you set up no scaffolds for those children later on in life.
That's unfair to be like, he walked away. You don't know what the cause of their breakup is.
No, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're not in the house with those children. At the end of the day, you don't know what's going on with them children to the point that you did not know that your kids was homeless for 3 months. At the end of the day, the last time you physically saw your children was a month before that.
Yo, humanity has to come first. This kid don't got nowhere to go. As of right now, this is the only place we need to take the kid in.
You left one person with 3 of your children, and they asked you to come get them, and you had an excuse instead of thinking as a parent, I need to figure out how to see my kids.
I'm actually
probably like, I didn't even know she was homeless for 3 months because she was acting like she had it.
Oh my goodness. I cannot stand people like you. I think that we no longer are brother and sister.
So shouldn't they charge
It's
him?
disgusting. It's
That's
really
what
sad
FTK
and
looks like.
disgusting.
That's what.
What level of sorry do you have to be to do that? Trifling.
Day trips to where?
Because there is no like
Lake Michigan.
I don't even have.
I mean, even if you knew, even if you didn't know, even if the mother never said like, "Hey, I don't have anywhere to live. That's why I need you to take the kids." That means you ain't check up on your kids in 3 months.
That's what she said.
But why did she bring the kids to like a shelter? If she knew that the husband, or if she knew that the baby father ain't shit, was not going to be active, was not going to save those kids or even save her, and was
How
not.
did she know that?
Well, I mean, when he told her no.
Maybe about
But do you? But like,
Like-
even when
like-
it comes to going
like,
to a
you
shelter,
went 3 months.
But he had 3.
But even when it comes to going to a shelter, they get
you have 2
full.
and 3?
There's a lot of people that are
Same
very
man?
homeless, and there's a lot of people that don't get accepted into shelters because guess what? If you are trying to work, or if you do have to make runs throughout the day to try to take care of your family, you got to make gas money because you're driving around. You're doing something, and sometimes you might be the last person before the person that they let in to get into the shelter.
Listen,
so things
I'll be
happen.
honest. If
No, but
I
it's
had,
just, it's just unacceptable.
if I have,
period.
I mean, listen, the guy is an asshole. He definitely is
Period.
100% wrong.
that.
But she's also wrong too, because there was
She has her kids.
no. She should have relinquished those kids because she did not have the means to
Someone
keep
who
them.
wants to be with another woman and take care of her kids.
He's
instead,
still wrong, but she's wrong too. At some point, you gotta say, yo, you know what? My pride for my children is not worth it. Maybe I need to put my children in a place where they can have a roof over their head.
So you think men are just taking their children in?
What are you talking about?
He's not talking about having given the kids to the father.
Yes.
Whoever that's going to protect the goddamn health and safety of the child.
Who?
I don't think relinquishing them
grandma.
to the state is the answer.
The child is dead now. Okay?
The other 2 aren't.
Huh?
But the other 2
But
aren't.
one is dead. One is dead. And
Okay, I partially. Okay.
no,
yeah,
my
but-
thing is, yo, listen, first of all, I've been a kid in a fucking car in the winter. Like, I know what it's like when you really have no other options.
Wait, so why your mama
So who's
didn't?
to
Why your mama
blame?
didn't take you
Who's
to
to
the
blame?
state?
I stayed in a shelter before
who's
with
to
my
blame?
mother.
No. What we're saying is that she did try to go to the shelter, and for whatever reason, like you explained, she couldn't have full-time shelter
I answered-
housing or whatever.
You asked me
Cool.
why did I? Because we were able to.
You need to.
we were able
No.
to.
You need to.
I am here.
Yeah,
but
you
if
need
you
to bring
I
it
already
down.
answered your question.
But you didn't answer my
Okay,
question.
wait.
Had you allowed me to finish my question,
my
you'd understand what I'm
God,
saying.
guys, let's be
She
family.
went the shelter route. It did not work. She was unsuccessful. She was unable to get full-time shelter for her and her 3 children, or I'm sorry, her and their 3 children. What I'm saying is that the only other alternative is for her to relinquish them to the state. So if you saying you was in the car with your mama freezing to death in New Jersey winter, why the fuck she ain't take you to the state?
She took me to the shelter. We were able to get the shelter. Again, I answered your question.
You said you were in the car. You did say that.
Okay, all right.
No,
so let's backtrack. We were homeless. All right. I'll give you the whole
You
shit.
said you was in a car.
Okay.
If you were living in a car, how were you also living at a shelter?
We were in a car. We lived in a car. At some point, we went into this shelter.
Exactly. So when you were not in the shelter, why the fuck didn't your mama take you to the state? That's what I'm saying. You think it's okay?
So, but what I'm saying, no. Because
You
what I'm
think
saying
it's
is,
okay
we
for-
have
for this
90
woman-
days of being homeless. So now my thing is, did you go there every day?
You think it's okay for this woman to relinquish her kids?
Yes,
to
I
the
do.
state,
Because now
but
your child
mama,
is
your
dead.
own mama,
Your child
who
is
had
dead.
you living in
your
a car,
child is dead now because you didn't want to relinquish your child that you couldn't take care of. You didn't want to drive down the street. He's wrong, okay? Who the fuck cares? We've already established he ain't shit. He's a terrible individual. I am not going to keep beating down a dead horse. She's wrong too. When you realize that your kids are freezing to death in Michigan, where it's fucking, I was just in Michigan in December and January. It's cold as shit, bro. It's cold. I had two stores in Michigan. It is freezing, bro. It's freezing cold. You can
live there. I know.
If you cannot have if the father ain't shit and you have no other option, the mom, your mom, their mom, he's allegedly saying that she was down the street from his family's house in which she could have dropped the kids. We don't know if that's true or not. Regardless of the case, she had an opportunity where she could have found a way. And I'm not saying it's the favorable way, but because she decided to say, you know what, I'm not going to relinquish my kids to the state for whatever reason, now 2 of them are gone. And she has to wear that, regardless of him. Yeah, no, I get it. They're both wrong, but we're trying to say, okay, listen, he's not only just wrong, he ain't shit.
And that's exactly why I'm a Christian. And if you would refer back to the Bible, it would tell you, you need to let go ego and pride. You need to bring them kids to that man house that you don't like.
And drop them off.
So I suggest everyone to get into their Bible so that you can be better parents, period.
Talking about 90 days. You didn't say day 1, they froze to death. This is 90 days.
Back in the day, women were marrying people that, like, they were leadership. They had things to offer. They had assets.
They were still doing some fucked up shit.
Okay, but still, at the end of the day, we both are coming up short. That's it. Because men want to be catered to now. So now you guys think you're the prize, and it's the truth. Like, you guys are act so like oh, a woman has to be this way. She can't be too soft. She can't think that I'm gonna give her flowers. She can't let me I can't open the door for her. These are the things you guys are saying, and you have said it specifically. So stop doing that. So at the end of the day, like, we can't even be gentle, feminine women that caters to a man and values a man and lets him lead and just is absolutely devoted to our man, because they saying, like, bitch, you better work, you better bring 50%, you better be strong, you ain't getting no flowers, I ain't opening no doors, I'm not about to call you by your first, like, it's just a lot of stuff. So we both are being, back in the day, used to be like, hey, Danielle, is Miss Janelle Williams here? You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to be called by our first and last name. We using our Instagram names these days.
Ooh.
Okay, forget it.
Too much TV.
That's not the point. That's the only thing y'all heard. Anyways, there was respect, and things people were operating differently.
There's no resolution. You gotta let it play itself out. The resolution is that people sometimes need to fucking go through the process and fucking die off.
Take them to their daddy house.
Both parties are responsible. That's it.
No, we know that. Yes, both
Take
parties
them to
are
their daddy house.
But
drop them
yes,
the fuck off.
No, that's not gonna work. If I'm being honest, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
If he left too.
The dads are not like not in every situation, but I'm not dropping my kid off to someone who is sometimes certain people are not coherent enough. Sometimes people are not gonna bathe your kids. Sometimes they're not gonna make sure you
Would you rather them die?
Okay, I'm not saying that. Just shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying, in this specific situation.
In this specific situation, okay, fine. I don't want them to die. But what if you send them to a house where everybody is crackheads anyway? And so now your kid is around fentanyl or whatever. It doesn't. I'm just making up a scenario, but obviously she didn't feel comfortable with dropping her kid there, and she thought she could handle it. and she had pride, whatever. But sometimes you're in a situation where you don't want to do that as well. And
Well,
maybe
obviously, she also didn't have enough support because
Yeah.
we're only talking about the baby father being the only option she could have taken these.
So this is what needs to be talked about. The fact that there was 2 adults in that car, the mom and the grandparent, which looks like they're going down the same path in life because they're right next to each other in the car, but nobody wants to hold. Listen, the guy ain't shit. And I will 100% own that, say that. But we got to also start saying, listen, as a mother, you ain't shit and you failed too. Your child is dead because of poor decision that you made as well. And that's the thing. Nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to say the fact that she had other opportunities to protect these kids' lives. I understand pride and ego and relinquishing to the state and maybe even getting to a shelter is not that easy. Although I heard that she was also declined from a shelter a few times, correct? So with that being said, did she try some ways? Yes, but guess what? When it comes down to the health and basically the existence of your child,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about your pride. You failed.
Okay.
You failed. I don't care what it is. Like, I got a kid, and I'll be damned to let my daughter and my son freeze in the car under any circumstance.
Me too.
Under any circumstance. Fuck my pride. You could take my child. Listen, hopefully I get back on my feet and I can figure it out and I can win my kids back over once I can show that I'm a fit parent. But at this point in time, my pride got my kids killed.
So it is important to have the community to help you with your children, even because at the end of the day, you do need family to be there for you in times that are difficult. You gotta, or else
I'll say this. There are
Cut
two
that out.
parts to this that actually need to be addressed. One, again, this back to what you guys were talking about earlier. This makes us. We should be continuing to think about the fact that if you are not with an appropriate person that cares about you, perhaps you just should not have kids with them. And we don't know if they were engaged, married, whatever. They got what, 3? Was it 3 kids? So they had 3 kids.
Crazy.
They were in the house together.
Crazy.
So they had some sort of family structure going on, right? But at the end of the day, the woman sort of held the cards as far as there had to be signs. You know what I mean? Like, she held the cards as far as like continuing to have children with this man. There had to be signs. And let's just say there weren't. Then, it was just an anomaly. But I think her, like, she tried to go to a shelter, but like, to think that this woman should have taken her kids to the state and relinquished her 3 Black children to the state, like, that's wild. I don't know any mom
You're
like
gonna say they're dead.
that I like know in general that's gonna be like, oh yeah, let me just take my kids to the state. No, they're gonna be like, no, I can handle my kids. We can get through this, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. Clearly his mom did it. So it's possible. And I imagine that there's a lot of people dealing with that. There's a lot of homelessness. Or, yeah, I guess they are homeless. But, there's a lot of that going on. It's just hard for me to think that it was pride that got in the way. Because she didn't have enough pride, to make her just say, oh, I'm going to hoard these kids. She reached out to their father looking for assistance to take care of his children. And if he knew that his family was down the street, my question is, why didn't he take his children to his family's house? Why?
I don't think he knew where she was.
I just don't understand the dynamics. And maybe, do you have more details? Because I really feel like
you
may be missing something.
The craziest thing that you're not realizing is that same man has attracted more than likely the same type of woman who's going to run his life. So if a man can allow a woman to dictate what he does with his kids,
sorry,
he's already been doing that with the woman he had kids with. Like, and it's not just the fact that he's an ain't shit weak ass man. But now here's the real kicker. As a woman, how do you allow a man to be ain't shit is ridiculous because it ain't your kid. That's more sickening to me.
Thank you, because
it ain't your kid. You allow a man to abandon and you honor him, or you at least sleep with him and lay with that man knowing he ain't shit is more disgusting than a man being
It's
ain't shit.
unattractive as AF.
You know he ain't shit, and you're okay. You're okay with the fact that he's a deadbeat parent, and you suck on him, you sleep with him, you probably pay his bills, you make him dinner, and yet you know he's a trifling ass nigga. You're a trifling ass bitch, and you don't want to get the blame on them, which is crazy to me, because I don't expect nothing more from somebody who proved they ain't shit.
I'm looking at you
fucked up-
crazy.
no, but he was fucked up to you, but he treat me good.
No.
There's a lot of women that do that.
Yeah, they do that. But to me, I'm just like, how can you abandon your children? Now I'm looking at you crazy, and if you don't fix this, and you definitely.
The only thing that makes sense that a woman would be okay with that type of partner is if they have a kid together and that woman's kid is taken care of perfectly fine, meaning they're lacking nothing. I guess the resources that are going to his other kids isn't affecting what's going on over here. I think that's the only way that I could.
I don't think that she would have needed a kid. She's being taken care of.
I mean, I understand. I'm just saying the only way I could see like a person rationalizing it being okay to be with a man who would just leave his children and abscond his like role in their life and his responsibility.
But it also, I'm sorry to cut you off. It also may be where she's seeing the communication that he has with his child's mother, and he sees how combative it is or how unhealthy it is.
She sees what
the
he's.
The
Okay,
new
I got
woman
you. Yeah.
sees the communication, or she's met or whatever. She's been in contact with the child's mother, and she sees how hard she's making it for him to be in their lives.
Okay, that's fair. I can see that could also be a rational reason.
But you know, like as a woman, I just go ahead.
We saw a video. This was literally 2 days ago. We saw a video on Instagram, and basically one of the girls, she had kids with a guy. They were separated, and she said to the guy, "You better not have your new girl posting my children on your Instagram." Right?
I mean, I think that's fair.
What? But okay, guys, hold on. Time for this. Layers. Let's put some layers. So now let's say this man is now moving on with this woman. This woman is now a stepmother, right? This woman is also taking care of the kids, however frequently that she has them.
Also, they're married.
No. I'm just saying in the process of building. Like he's with this person. Like they're actually together. Like they're not like
married, but together.
Yeah, they're not married. They're together, right? And so my thing is sometimes the biological mother makes it unpleasant and or damn near impossible to get a relationship with the new step parent because he moved on.
It could be trying to like coach or give the stepmom like examples of how I do things with my kids. So when they're over here, these are kind of some things that I want you to lay down. So if I don't really post my kids on social media, I'm going to ask that you don't. So if I saw you,
that's very reasonable.
If I saw you post a picture of my kid and I asked you to take it down, I hope that there's not a problem.
Yeah, and it's kind of like just common sense. It's kind of like why are you going above and beyond to post somebody else's kid that's not yours?
No, like if that listen,
because you're trying to look like a super parent.
Or
I
maybe
think it's stupid.
Or maybe because you actually have a relationship with the kid. Like,
I mean, but why do you have to post somebody's kid?
Could you not just have a relationship with
Why
the
do you have
child?
to post somebody's kid though?
If you're somebody-
why can't people just be like understanding of other people's feelings and just say, you know what? If you don't want that, then I'm just gonna respect that. That's it.
Yeah, it's like again.
I don't want my kid on your page.
I just don't think
Or
that.
I don't want people in my business.
My thing is this: what has to be understood is that when you are separated, you're even if you have different ways of parenting. It's one stays over here, one stays over here. You're not going to enforce your ways of parenting in this household, and we are not together, and vice versa. So
depends on who has the majority of their physical custody.
I'm like that with myself though. Like, don't post that picture of me. I don't like it. I'm embarrassed by it. My hair, but I just wasn't laid. Whatever. It's just at the end of the day, don't post my child. You might have caught him doing something stupid.
But honestly, it don't even
I'm not
have
saying
to
put it in a
be
bad light.
as,
Like,
crazy as that. To be honest, if I'm not to say that I would have a rule against like posting my own
Don't post
child,
my
but
kid.
I know some people are like funny like that with social media and their kids. But if you're on social media and you're like, oh, at Bobby's soccer game, his first soccer game, they won, blah, 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 and you're parading my kid on social media as if that's your kid, yes, that's going to piss me off.
but why?
I mean, I probably won't see it. I'm not.
Why?
Gonna lie.
Because this man is trying to move on with his life with a person who's supportive.
Have your own kids.
Look, this is what y'all do with Russell. Russell coach, Russell post, Russell kiss, Russell let him call him dad. All of this shit.
And listen,
That's a different situation.
That's a different situation. Allows it. That's the thing.
No, Future had a problem with it from the very beginning.
They friends. They
Future an active parent?
I don't know.
Yes.
Exactly. He's
Because
always,
Ciara said no.
Well,
he's not an active parent. That's clear.
Court papers actually proved that he
You
was
don't
there
care.
78% of the
Papers?
time. Yes.
The mother said that dad don't be
Listen,
around.
this is
so-
what
The mother be lying.
Here, we don't hear Future talk.
What do you mean? Yes, you don't.
I don't have no rebuttals.
You
don't talk.
Yeah, I ain't listen. You know what he just said?
What?
What
if
he
I
just said?
cheat, I only cheat in the morning. Because by the end of the day,
Ignorance.
I gotta be loyal.
Pure ignorance. Pure ignorance. That's why I hate being an October person. I fell in love with a man that had a daughter, and the fact that he wasn't close to that daughter and spending time with her, I was like, we're gonna fix this. So the person has a relationship with their daughter to this day because of that. Because I'm not a person that's like, yo, you're a father, you have a little girl, like you're gonna be present in this daughter's life. Because if you're not, I'm not attracted to a man that's gonna abandon their child.
Sorry.
Oh, so
Whether
you
you want it
bully
to be,
him?
whether you want to be in this, whether you wanted to have that kid or not, you did what you had to do. So take care of that kid. She looks just like you. And this is real. This is Gabby. Am I lying? I'm not
Gabby
lying.
said-
A man that's fine as hell that I really liked and was in love with, and I'm not trying to be. I even was like, yo, homegirl, I don't got no issue with you, but I feel like you in a situation where you have a daughter and this man needs to be present in her life. Period.
Was he trying to, or was the mother?
He was
like,
saying stupid shit. He was just like, I didn't even want to have her baby. That's not the point. The baby's here.
Damn.
The baby's here.
So I'll make a new
And
one.
you all in my face trying to be cute, like, oh, like this is cool and all, but you got to take care of your kids. I need to see what type of man you
Damn,
are.
I need Jada bad.
Bad.
I gotta.
So if
I
you're
gotta
gonna be
go
in my
take
life,
care
I
of
gotta
that.
see if you can take care of your responsibilities because I got a lot of shit that I need a man. So the man is
gotta
a
have
great
her.
father
Yeah.
because in the time
I
frame
made
of us,
him.
Let me go get
in
them
the time
kids.
frame of us dating, I was able to make him take care of his child because that shit is not attractive,
Sorry.
especially to a woman like me. I'm not attracted to somebody that's not going to take care of their kids. That's whack to me.
So I have a question for you.
Crack
So
is whack.
you're a woman with a child.
At that time, I didn't have
No,
my
I'm
child.
talking about right now.
Uh-huh.
Are you single?
Yes.
Okay. So if the father of your child gets into a new relationship, whatever is getting serious, and let's just say it is serious,
Uh-huh.
and that woman is neglecting or kind of pushing away the child that you two have made together.
I don't give a damn.
No, I'm saying like, how would you handle that?
That person, that ain't my business because I'm gonna take care of my business. And it is what it is. And the next relationship I'm in, I'm gonna be straight. That's just how I operate.
Well, would that stop you from
I don't
sending
care
your
what
son
you do,
over there
sir.
though?
Whatever y'all want to do, y'all gonna do. I'm such a simple person. We either gonna be cool or we not. That's it.
Yeah.
You decide. Because at the end of the day, I don't have any animosity towards you. I'm not no bitter baby mom. I don't care what the hell's going on. You want to take care of your son or you don't. If you do,
No, I'm
you
trying
cool.
to
If
figure
you
out
don't,
what I'm trying to ask.
if your new boo is cool, if she's cool, go ahead.
What if he's taking care of both of your son, and
Who's the other
I don't
son?
know.
well him or her and him,
Okay.
he's taking care of their son.
You could.
Yeah, he's
go
taking
ahead.
care of their son, like whatever the agreement may be. But every time your son is there, he comes home and he goes, "I don't like the way Melissa is treating me."
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna have a talk with Melissa. And the way I operate, that talk is gonna be it's gonna cause some changes. I'm not like a lot of people. I operate in a way where I don't bite my tongue. If it's gonna be a problem, and if the problem keeps persisting, then we're gonna have a problem.
Question: Are you gonna
And
go to
he's
her
not. I don't
first?
care what issue we have with each other, me and my baby father. He has enough respect for me to make sure that doesn't continue being an issue. I don't care what y'all got going on. Get married, have fun. But at the end of the day, respect what I got going on, or everybody's gonna be miserable. Period.
But are you gonna go to her, or are you gonna go to him?
We're
and
all
say,
gonna
hey,
sit down.
Okay.
We're all gonna have a sit down.
All at the same time.
I was gonna say
Let's
the
sit
same
down.
thing. I don't think that I would even give my baby father a chance. I wouldn't even give him a chance to relay what my son told me for him to fix the situation. We're all gonna sit down right here.
Let's sit down. I don't want to hear nothing. When my son is here, he better come home with clean nails. His curls better be curling.
Greased up.
I don't want it to be just to be ashy and flat in the back.
Moisturized.
See?
He better
Is
be
that
full.
flat in the back?
He
I'm
better be
fucking
full.
trying.
He better have made it to school. I don't want to.
Did he get his allergy medicine?
Yes. He better not be inflated. There's no
in the
inflation.
bag.
I don't.
Flat
So I
in that
know I'm
bag.
not no fool. I don't have no issue with you having another woman. Make sure my son is good, and that's that. And I'm be cool with her. Matter of fact, sis, let's hang out. You and your kids and my son. Let's hang out. Keep this man away from me.
Okay.
I got the different.
Keep him
Well,
occupied. Be happy.
Obviously, I don't know all the things in the situation, but I'm just trying to figure out like what will make a woman say, yo, you know what? Maybe my kid doesn't need to be over there because of the new potential
Roaches.
parent.
Not mad at it.
Roaches.
Not mad at it. As
You got
someone who is
roaches?
scared of them-
You can't. My son can't come over.
I'm
Not about
cool
to
with
bring
that.
those eggs to my
I'm cool
house.
with that.
Those eggs to my
That's
house.
what my problem is. Roaches and abuse.
Oh wait, in bed bugs.
If my son comes, if anything in this area, if anything comes back, if I smell something that smells too adulty, my son's not going over there anymore.
You smell like
Wait a
brown
minute.
mouthwash. Like the brown Listerine.
What's happening?
Wow.
So I pay.
I'm just saying that's what you.
No, I know, I get it.
I
I
pay
get
attention
it.
to my
I'm
son.
saying that'd be
so
fucking
much.
crazy.
I pay attention to my son
it's just
extremely
green and blue.
because again, my son is very intelligent, but his communication is not like where it should be at this point. So I have to pay extra attention.
You have to be his
The
advocate.
moment I'm uncomfortable with something, I have questions.
I wish Rome would start to open up about his situation, but maybe on the next episode.
If you're dating a woman
Yeah.
and you have children,
Yeah.
do you just what happens with your kids? Do you just stop caring about them, or do you say, "Hey, this is my schedule," or "Hey, like, what do men do to take response? Like, what do you guys do in those situations?"
You add.
But she's saying like how do men like create their boundaries
Yeah.
with that new woman so that they don't have the
We talked
issues
about
that we're
us.
talking about.
What are men doing?
So when you meet a woman
Uh-huh.
and you guys are dating back and forth, you guys kind of get a schedule together. And so every other weekend I have my daughter, or
Yeah.
this is the time. So if you try to impede on that time, then you're gonna get your feelings hurt because that's my time with my child.
Okay, but we're talking to a man.
I'm talking to a man,
But
and that's
you're
the way
not
he
in a
like it.
situation where a woman has ran your life. So I'm asking you, as a man who doesn't get his life ran by women, how do you operate in that way? So you said they have to respect the schedule.
Or you're going to get your feelings hurt.
You're gonna get your feelings
You're
hurt. But now, when you start dating that person and you want to introduce your child to that woman,
Okay.
are there rules in place? And does the woman and the baby mother have to have a conversation? How does that work?
Well, first of
Because she trusts you.
all, but you're far ahead right now. First
Okay,
of all,
sorry.
you have to hope that one of the two, if not both of the women, are civil to
Okay.
begin with before you introduce them to each other, or before you even bring your child over to the house or wherever the situation is, or to the car. Oh
That'd be a problem too.
shit!
Women are weird.
Well,
I don't have the energy.
First of all,
you only have 2 daughters?
My friend, she's the bitterest baby mom I've ever came in contact with in my life. Everything is a
I'm in
problem
trouble because
for
I'm
her.
not bitter.
Everything is a problem for her.
Wait,
and I
what
just
does
be
what
like,
does she do?
girl,
Like, what does she do, if you don't mind?
her baby father was dating some girl, and she was in the car when her baby father came to pick up their kid. And she wasn't home, so the grandma, her mom, went to the car and said, "Okay, here he is, blah blah blah." And she went and told like, "Oh yeah, he came and picked her up, and there was a girl in the passenger seat, and she went ballistic." And I'm like, but
they be better mamas sometimes. Like,
she's like, I've never met her. I've never met her before. Why would he bring her to my house to get my kid? Like, well, she didn't get out the car. She didn't,
But
I don't know.
It's also on how you end the previous relationship. Like if you cheated on that woman and then now you are doing some other shit, then you already didn't respect her the first time. So whatever you do from this point on is not.
But they're so far attached from their old relationship. Like they're just.
It's
Child
the pain,
7.
it's trauma.
Yeah.
But at the
No,
same
yeah.
time, she doesn't trust him. She doesn't trust his
judgment.
his judgment, the decisions that he makes. She has in her mind that he is an F boy and that he doesn't have the responsibility that she, like, I don't trust you to have women around my child.
And a child being 7 doesn't mean that she believes that he has grown in that 7 years.
Exactly.
She believes that he's still the same person that he was, and he's still doing the same shit that he's doing, and this is proof of it.
Bitter.
Yeah, but
she'll never understand.
But
Like,
regardless of the case, it doesn't matter what she feels and her perspective of him. Whatever she thinks he is or is not her responsibility anymore. And although she wants to look out for the well-being of her child, she has to understand that if this is a court order, at some point when she turns that child over to that biological parent, whatever, you have to just hope that that he or she gets back to you safe and sound. And the same thing vice versa. Because I might have broke up with you because you were made poor decisions too. But I have to trust that you, especially if you're the majority parent, that you're making proper decisions on a day-to-day basis, even though you showed me that you couldn't. Mm-hmm. So it's not about what I feel anymore, about who you are as a person. At this point, once I give you my child, all I know is that my child better come back the same way that you got him. You know what I'm saying? By the
You
way,
have the generation where men were not there when they left their families. But then you have multiple generations after that, and the women and the kids that come after that, and they deal with the trauma of not having a father or not having, so either they are hyper independent, they're like, oh, I don't need a man. So then that just separates the people from each other, from creating unions and creating families and being married. And when you're not married, everyone knows, like, the way you build wealth the fastest is with a partner in marriage and by having a home. That's tried and true. Everybody knows that. So we didn't get the 40 acres. That was our property, right? And then now we are so detached from being in relationships, from being in, like, I guess what's it called? A nuclear family? Just typical husband and wife or whatever. And I won't even say typical husband and wife, because even if it's still a family, if it's two men or two women or whatever, it's still a family, and they can do the exact same thing. But I think people are more so on their, I can be alone, I don't need nobody
agenda, if we want to call, the, I guess, different things that we were speculating was being pushed, like separating the families. I think the new agenda now is blending truth with lies and lies with truth, because now information has been more accessible than ever before. And because of that, there's lies that they have said were truths that they have to protect, and I believe vice versa.
Hey guys. Nigga, what? I was about to say, Rico, that was so confusing.
No, because like people do put like
they're blending lies with
example,
truths and truths with lies.
but in a
It's
way
like,
I get
it's
it.
like moissanite and lab and real
As
diamonds.
I was listening to it, I was
don't know
like,
why
I
those were put
remember when you said that, and I remember being just as confused.
Yeah.
Amanda was like, no, but I feel like it was just off topic.
No, because the question,
It cuts off also.
Yeah,
the
exactly. It was
question
like two different.
what is the new attack on when it comes down to families? So what I was talking about has nothing to do with what Alan
Yeah,
put
that's what
there,
I'm saying,
because
like,
it's two entirely different
Alan's
things.
annoying.
We're gonna talk to post production
laughing. You're
later.
so nasty.
Like,
It didn't be nasty.
Every
sometimes.
two,
like, I just be
every two
confused.
showing. He's
They be
nasty.
saying it in the comments too. They be like,
What?
the question that is titled has nothing to
Those
do
are
with
two separate
what
clips.
they're talking about.
Like, not even the same clip.
Because I actually want to say that we were like, huh? And then I think you actually went to explain what you were saying with the truth and the lies and the truth.
Yeah, because
we didn't get it.
You know what's crazy? I thought I got it, but now I think I lost it
There's
again.
no way you got it.
I lost it again.
I feel like I'm about to start saying that.
I want to go home.
lies and lies of truth. All right, come on, let's go.
Come on, what they saying?
Polo.Faye.
Oh my God,
Or,
no,
I'm sorry.
underscore.
Polo_Faye says that we need to stop letting women run this page.
I've been saying that.
These narratives. When are we going to hold women accountable for the parts they play in broken homes? I don't know. I thought that it was a man that ran this page. I'm just. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Please correct me.
Well, me and Alan have had this conversation.
So am I wrong?
Wait, are men? Wait, who's running the page?
What's the comment thread? I didn't see
He
what
erased
Aaron
it.
said. There were 8 comments under there.
Wait, you erased it, Alan?
Go press 8.
Oh,
You didn't screenshot.
that's never said.
Oh no, because he responded.
Oh, the other replies were other people.
No, I responded and I said, well, it's actually a man that runs the page. So I guess, and I tagged him and I said, I guess you should stop pandering. And it was obviously a joke to him, but I said it in response to that question so that you could see what the thread was. And that was he said something about he doesn't pander. I was like, nigga, I wasn't talking to you. You know what I mean? Like really, like that's really what I said in my head.
Dummy.
Like I just, God, yeah, I don't want to.
You made me want to move to Houston and start over.
That ain't the place to go because y'all running up the rent.
Then he needs to stop.
See, look, I said Paige is run by a man, and then so he said this.
Women control who has access to sex and whose babies are born. Men control who has access to relationships. Broken homes are therefore created by women who don't require a relationship in marriage prior to. Is this a screenshot or can we go down?
Probably prior to having sex or a child.
Man.
So we need to go on a universal, worldwide, whatever. We need to. What's it called when you
pilgrimage?
No. We need to stop.
When you withdraw.
Yeah, we need to.
I said that, and of course they said that.
We need to officially stop giving cat out. We need to leave.
Have I not said that?
Keep our cats.
No, you
to
said stop
ourselves.
fucking with him.
We're gonna do that.
No, I brought up the whole
What you
4B
mean we're gonna
thing
do
is
that?
leave them alone.
It's easier
No,
than
that's
you
not.
think.
That's not what she's saying. She's saying don't have sex.
Yeah, let's
Are you saying pull back from men in general,
pull
or
back.
don't have? See, she's
pull
saying
it
what
back.
I'm saying.
Wait, pull back
Pull
from
it back.
from sex or from even
Yes.
talking to him.
Pull it back. We gotta.
Exactly. You're not saying it.
All of it.
See?
Don't talk to these niggas like I'm joking. We need to reboot. We need a reboot, ladies.
Reboot.
Enough
what?
is enough.
The coochie.
No, not the coochie. Sorry, the coochie isn't tired. I don't know what you're talking about. The coochie isn't tired. We need to literally, all you city girls and everybody listen up. Everybody needs to just stop giving out the cat. Okay? Everybody just needs, it's true.
Are you talking to women?
Everybody that's not married. You're not married. I mean, you are married.
I thought you said everybody, like men and women.
No. The men are the ones that are in
That's
trouble.
why I was confused.
No, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
I understood.
Okay. So basically, I
The
think
whole
women
4B movement, like I mentioned a few weeks
women
ago.
need to stop giving it out because it's getting crazy out here. Men are not even appreciating it. First of all,
work on yourself.
work on yourself.
Literally, because remember, women are hoes, according to my castmates. Women make poor decisions when it comes to men. According to my castmates.
We need to be needed again.
Women need to pick better, according to my castmates. So I do think this should be a time of reflection where women do pull back and focus on doing better, being better, and
Picking better.
building yourself. You know,
Gonna be a lot of lesbians.
We bring nothing to the table.
yeah,
Right?
We need
Nothing
to figure
wrong
out
with
what
that.
we're gonna bring to the table.
I thought you was just practicing.
We need to, we need to learn how to build and glue.
Yeah.
And
It's probably like a good time to like learn some skills, like learn how to like hang the curtains at your house.
But no, honestly, Kitty
Learn
is
how to learn how to sew.
So
Like do a garden. Meghan Markle. Be on your Meghan Markle.
No, listen, seriously, if you want to join the movement and you want to just take a break and get our power back, we need to go on this.
We need to be better.
Let's create a name for it. Like
she said, it's 4B.
It's called the 4B movement.
Why 4B?
That's what the Korean women called it.
You need one for the American women. So say it.
I feel like the hair types is
Try
gonna
that
come
shit
up
if
when
you
I-
want to.
when I search that
That's
up.
all
I
I'm gonna
know
say.
it.
Try that shit if you want to.
Ladies, we need to take our power back. They used to bow down to us.
Fucking power.
They used to
All
kiss
right.
our hand. They used to literally call us by our first and last name and ask for permission to even be around us.
To lie to you.
They used to have to do so much just to even get to sniff it, to get the pheromones.
Women from the ages of 18 to 24, there's 1.2 million of them that are on OnlyFans, and there's only 10 million of them in that age gap in America. So literally 10%, a little bit over 10%, are actually already on OnlyFans. And the average monthly income for OnlyFans is $150 to $180.
Men are so worried about
unless you
these
saw the
bitches.
citation,
Women are
don't
so
say
wor-
shit.
Why are you so worried?
Pearl the
What
Panderer.
I'm saying is that women are giving the cat out for $150.
I'm not.
Like,
I'm not saying that OnlyFans is good.
a lot
but
of
why
niggas
the
could
hell are
afford
y'all
it.
in women's? But like back in the day,
It was 11. She got paid 11,000. She got paid 11 grand to do a BDSM, where the guy liked to be suffocated, so he had like a bag on his head.
They killed
She
him.
killed
And
him?
she killed him, and she's getting charged with manslaughter, even though it was his request.
It wasn't his request to die.
Yeah, but like she was riding him while like she couldn't.
Did they have a safe word?
was he?
He was like he would have a bag and tape over his mouth.
Were his hands restricted?
I didn't watch the video.
That
I
was a
just read it.
fantasy.
He had a freako.
Yeah.
He had a freako.
That was a fantasy of his that he never thought
My
out
boy had a
very
freako.
clearly.
And look, wait. Why he not in jail? Oh, I guess he's dead.
He's dead. She in jail.
That's fucked up.
She was
Manslaughter.
No, but
At least it's not
ladies just-
homicide.
She was just trying to get some money.
She was a hoe.
11,000.
So
We going on
And-
we going on a worldwide fast, y'all. We just fasting.
Can you?
For those of you that aren't.
But what's the name of it?
You don't even need the sex.
he has
for
a girlfriend.
what? Everybody's going on a worldwide fast. Ladies, if you are interested in going on this worldwide kitty fast, I need you to DM me ASAP. It's going down. Nobody's giving out the cat. I've already been doing that, but I just want you guys to join me. It feels amazing. Thanks for tuning in to 8 at the Table. It's been an awesome night. We got on a lot of topics, and I hope you guys all learned something. So make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll catch you next time. 8 at the Table.